Hey, hello, everybody. Welcome back. It is a Wednesday. I hope you all are doing well. Hello. And Chloe X Jane, hi. Thank you so very much for the follow. Welcome to the House of Quartz Twitch community. And Yamchai is awesome. Hello, congrats on being the first one in chat. I see Quinmis is here and Phoenix Firefae. We've got Bane as well, and PK Screams, welcome back. Does anyone know if the Discord is gone? The Discord is still very much around. A link may be expired depending on where you tried to access it from. Canarol, thank you so very much for the resubscription for 14 months. Thank you. That is so very appreciated. Angel Wolf, you made it just in time. Hey. Let's see. Angel Wolf has a camper too. I'm jealous. I love being in the outdoors and going camping and stuff like that. And it's morning for Chloe. Are you just like all the way over in Australia or something? Let's see. What sorcery is this? I'm wondering if you mean like the music. Let's switch out. This is supposed to be lo-fi, and usually there's no words in the lo-fi one. Rose, welcome back. Hi! And Darker Logics. Raven, you love the makeup? Thank you. Thank you. This was a good portion of my day. How's it going? It is going. Hi, Tiger Man. McChonk is yes. Yes, actually. McChonk finally made it. As did my new fuzzy blanket that I've been talking about, like just making a nest with things. You're at a fair? Oh, it's your cousin's camper. Got it. So yes, my weighted stuffed dragon is here and right on time. Honestly, the way that I missed my baby. So fuzzy. It sleeps so much better when I have this. Do you have a name yet? You guys named it. It's McChonk. And Chloe, you did a 3 months in advance subscription. Well, thank you. And also, Canarol, thank you for lurking. All praise to the Chonk. Yes, all hail Chonk. Oh. So, the baby is now here. Oh, what have you guys been up to? What's been happening? Quinmis, thank you for the gift sub to Darker Logics. Does that mean we have a hype train going right now? We do. We do have a hype train. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. It's always such like a wonderful brain way to start the stream. Thank you. Yes, McChonk, Lord of the Dragons. Love the look today. I appreciate that so much. This was so much work. Like, let me tell you. Jimmy, hi friend. Hello. It's been a hot second. How are you doing? And Nim, welcome back. Glad life's getting normal again. It is slowly trying to steal a moment to ask this woman out at work, but she's been off for 3 days. You're just out here like, Look incredible. Thank you. I really went for it. I was having a day where I was like, I really just for rosy reasons, need to glue things to my face. And that's just how we do. Did an amazing job on your makeup as always. Thank you. Thank you, Bane. As well as thank you guys for starting us off with a hype train today. I couldn't ask for a better Twitch community over here. Also, we are streaming on YouTube as well. So hello to anybody who might be hanging out and watching over there. It is good to see you or be seen. Oh, Chloe, thank you for the 2 gift subs as well. I appreciate that. Cindy, oh my god, hello. Welcome back. And we've got, let's see, your work paid off? Thank you. So shiny? Yeah, Chesapeake Ripper is definitely we're going for shiny. PK says trying to keep it together. You and me both. Survival Blade says, I also have a Citizen Soldier and Sky Daddy concert this Saturday. Oh my god, I am so jealous. I would love to see that performance. They came out with a song, I think it's called Heavy. And the lyrics of this song, because Sky Daddy does what they call trauma core music, and the song Heavy, it's all about how speaking up about your trauma tends to isolate you with your family, friends, community. Like the way that like trauma alters your brain, can keep you stuck somewhere, can keep you too, it talks about feeling like your trauma makes you too heavy for other people to want to be around or support. And it hits. It's very well done. I did went full purpley pink today. I really did. Heavy is your anthem. My condolences, but also same. Let's see. Cypher Graybeard, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're just sitting here saying hi to everybody, running a little hype train over here. It's so very good to see you all. Of course, if you guys have any like spoon boosts that you would like to share with the class, with the chat. Spoon boost being something that just made your brain happy, it gave you back some energy. Just, it doesn't have to be a big thing. It can be something very small, just whatever made brain. Hi Court, hello. What's my favorite Sky Daddy song? It became Heavy like immediately as soon as I heard it. I was like, this is it. I've been listening to it on repeats recently. I have all the Quartzy curiosities. I'm not sure if we have one of the mods in chat at the moment. A dissound. Like brain. Yes, it's good to have you in chat, Angel Wolf, as per usual. Love seeing my regulars and all of that good stuff. Oh my gosh. It is nice to be back. I missed you guys. Found intact plans for how to build a 2-meter tall trebuchet. Me and my buddy are gonna try to build this. Wait, isn't that one of those things that I might be completely out to lunch right now? But isn't that one of those things that launches stuff? Like a catapult in a way? Maybe I'm completely off. Hi, Thornstar. 7 years is good too. I'll be moving into private assisted living at the end of the month. Just need to finalize things on Friday. Oh, Tiger Man, that's coming up for you now, hey? Are you still gonna be able to catch... Are we still gonna see you in chat after you move? It is! Okay, it is similar to a catapult. I'm not completely off base. Smart brain hours engaged, apparently. Trying to explain to people the sound my brain makes when I'm happy. All I have is rosy videos to explain it. Yeah, exactly. When the serotonin is flowing, brain is going... A siege engine. Okay, because the first thing... I'm probably even pronouncing it incorrectly, but the first thing that came to my mind was, like, Lord of the Rings and the big, like... Those siege things that, like, really swing stuff and launch it right into a city. Oh, Court, okay. Court, would you be able to grab an invite from the Discord server if possible? Please and thank you. Tiger Man is saying we're stuck? Stuck with you? I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Oh my goodness, goodness. Thank you for the gift subs. And that means our hype train is running just a little bit farther over here. I'd love to see it, thank you. And Cindy says, put my 1 tablespoon SSD into the new baby. I'm not sure, what does that mean? Also, thank you for a level 3 hype train today, you guys. Does sleep count as spoon boost? If not, have been actually making progress to claiming some space recently. Sleep absolutely counts as a spoon boost, especially for you. Oh my god, Sal! It has been a while. Hi! How are you? I think you stole the mods job, just slightly low. Oh, did you actually drop an invite already, Chloe? If you might not be able to because only the mods can drop links. But either way, as long as somebody manages to find it. Oh, 1 terabyte solid state drive. Oh, okay, I gotcha. How we doing today? Yeah, exactly. Nim says, I'm not well spoken on compliments. I just can say your makeup today reminds me of the 90s movies, Super Elite Aquariums. The villains usually shown around to prove to be a person of wealth, exquisite taste, and soul depth, or otherwise said in my usual lexicon is, wow. Nim, that is so specific. What do you mean you're not well spoken on compliments? Wow. That is so specific. Also, there you go. There is a link in the chat for the Discord server. Let's see. Sal says, I'm alive, I hope. Probably. If I'm not, nobody's told me yet, so I'll call it a win. Very much same. Very much same energy, same vibe. Also, community question, does it look right having a short guy with a taller girl? One of my other friends said it looks weird, and it got me wondering when I'm trying not to overthink asking this woman at no, lots of women love a short king. Honestly, as long as you are women, so many women, listen, so many women just want like Jack Black, right? Like, it's not about him being like muscly, well, like just put together, tall. Like, it really, for a lot of women, it comes down to how you consistently treat them. And rewriting that compliment doesn't matter if it you put effort into that. That doesn't mean you're bad at it at all. Like, you put like some thought into that. And yeah, exactly. Like, your friend is inserting something in there where like there's so many differences that you can have as a couple, and height definitely doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be a deterrent whatsoever. And sometimes, like, I love the trope of a tall woman with like a shorter guy. I think it's really fun. Like, especially if she can give him uppies, like that to me is amazing. It's one of my favorite things. If I see that, I'm just like, good for her. Good for her. Yes. We love to see it. And Court says, I am spooned up because of something that happened today. What spooned you all the way up there, Court? Please tell me. Share. Feel free to share with the class. It would be much appreciated. Tell us good things. Exactly. As long as like everything else is working, like height is a superficial thing. It only matters if it matters to you. And I know for like some guys, a lot of guys fight with insecurity on a level that I don't think like we really give much brain cells towards. But I think the height thing is something the guys get in their heads about. Like, if you are really putting in energy and you genuinely care about this girl who's taller than you, like, she's gonna soak that up. It's not. Let's see. Survivalist says, I'm short and a bigger guy, but keep in shape, like to spill my dates. I drink the respect woman juice nice and strong. She wouldn't be able to pick me up, but I can't easily pick her up. Oh, like, you'd still give her uppies. So, do get in my head sometimes about my height. Yeah. And there's our hype train. We got to a level 3 hype train today, you guys. Thank you so very much. I appreciate it. Little spoon boost there. Thank you for supporting my content, whether you're subscribing to the channel, you're lurking, you're hanging out, you're interacting, sharing my content, giving the content views, all of that stuff. It is so very appreciated. Sal says, also spooned up, got an order of shiny math rocks that make all the brain only 26 sets. That's a lot of brain burr. Angel Wolf says, I'm short. Does that mean I get uppies? Absolutely it does. Everyone should get uppies. Court says, reconnected with someone who had accidentally fell out of touch with and hung out for like 3 hours. Aww, it's nice because we have some things in common. Care to share more? Or that's, like, whatever the case may be, I love that for you. PK Scream says, I'm always lurking. Tigerman says, Survival Blade. There's a reason comic accurate Wolverine is drooled over. 100%. We stand a short king. Let's see. Chesapeake says, I like that Rosie's definition of relationship relies so heavily on one partner being able to give the other partner uppies. It does. It really does. I absolutely go crazy when I've got a partner who can literally, like, woo! If you can pick me up and put me on a shelf. We gotta hydrate here. Plus side, you have an order of more shiny things heading your way. Amazing. Let's see. For short kings, 20 years ago, I heard the best answer ever to height perception on a guy shooting their shot in college. When told he was short, good, you noticed. Now we can move on to my better qualities when in knowing each other. He said it so suave and self-assured. I just wished him all the best on his dates. And tried to own my own height sense. Incredible. Penguin quacked to you as well. Lauren says, I wish I could get uppies, but as someone who's 5'11", it's hard to acquire uppies. You need to make some gym bro friends. I mean, like, uppies. Uppies are life. Ah, I see, Court. I see. I love it. I love it for you. Amazing. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad you guys have shiny things happening in your life and friend connections happening for you. That is incredible. Thank you for sharing. Jewel says, been walking around so much the past 4 days. Little cousin is a pig show. So I've walked around and looked at all the rides and pet goats. I really enjoy those events, actually. Just, like, yes. Also, especially when you can give them... I like goats. Giving goats scritchies, they're so into it. And, like, yes. Goats can be assholes, but I kind of vibe with them. They're very chaotic. Sarvel says, well, I do enjoy giving uppies. I'm not a fan of getting them. Oh my goodness. Listen, I live for uppies. I really do. It's happy brain things. Giving penguin scritchies is fun too. I believe you. I believe you. Anyone ever gave scritchies to a pig? It's so cute. I have not, but also apparently pigs are very intelligent. And I think that tracks, actually. Unfortunately, they can't sweat very well, which sucks, but at least they got the brain cells. Goats are also good for pets. Source, goat farm. Yeah, I had... my family boarded goats for a little while, and they got out almost every day. You could not contain them. Let's see. Court says, oh, also I have a special thing too. Set up 3 doctor's appointments for stuff that will really make my life a lot easier. Incredible. I love that for you. Congrats on doing the adult things and setting up appointments for yourself. I know, like, for a lot of people, you ask them to make an appointment, and they're like, oh, God. Please no. Tireman says, I follow a lady on TikTok that shows her farm, and there were mini baby goats born a few days ago. Please tell me they put the baby goats in pajamas. Please. See, Quimus says, the rare occasion I've gotten uppies are great, on par with Little Spoon, which are also all the brain gober. Okay, the way that I love giving, like, being Big Spoon to, like, a larger person, because I'm just, like... You just put, like, arms up behind them and you're like, I am a jetpack. Pigs has got more brain cells than most of my family. Screams into the void after having to endure micromanagement incarnate. What? Nim says, I mean, not to bring others' kinks, reminded by talking about Wolverine and Uppies. Me being short doesn't mean I can't carry you on the cutest little sack of potatoes on my shoulder. Exactly. Court says, oh, been putting this off for like 3 years, not my best movie. You got there. Listen, you got there. All right, you get all the XP for taking care of these appointments. Kids can't, baby goats can't pajama. Much pajama. Last night, Gray, in Gray as Dust, asked me how I was so good at Warframe when I was playing with her. Best moment in my life. Aww. Yeah, we love Gray as Dust here. So Blade says, my bestie met a guy that's just as terrified of getting hurt as she is, and yet they're both agreeing to do it scared and continue seeing each other. Aww. Listen, sometimes you do. Sometimes you do actually just gotta do it scared, and it's hard. The way that we are all just anxious globs of goop out here doing our best. Right? At least you are doing it now, and that is what matters. That's what's important. So, congrats to everybody out here who's been doing the things where they do the hard stuff. Darker Logic says, that's been me for a while, but following you and the caregiver content has led me to taking the big steps for myself. Massage therapy for migraines, therapy for healing, and doing my work. Thank you for being part of my push to stop and take care of me. I've always people please first. What? Darker Logic, thank you so much for taking the time to write all that out and let me know that my content had a positive impact for you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that very much. Let's see. Quimus says, I might have to use jetpack spoon as term because it's very applicable. Yeah, I love it. I'm just out here like, I am jetpack. And also, because I love compression, and it makes me happy to think that if I'm giving somebody else compression, that they'll, like, my squish for them gives their brain good things too. Has anybody ever seen Something's Hell? I'm not sure. Wait, goat in pajama. Is that 4 leg bottoms? It is. It is. Google it. Has anyone seen the Hell's Bells series on TikTok? The finale's lesson of do it scared. Some of the best life advice. I haven't seen the episode you're talking about, but I am familiar with Hell's Bells, and it's good content. Angel Wolf says, I actually have an eye doctor appointment on Friday. Glasses broke at a trampoline park a few months ago, so you'll have new ones. Good for you. Good for you. I also did the big girl things this week. So I also have started up with massage therapy. I found an incredible massage therapist who actually has like 30 some years of experience, and I was just, and also like just super great conversationalist. We have great conversations about mental health and the impact of trauma on the body, stuff like that. And he's the one who actually helped put my rib back in place, because Jesus, I was definitely more stressed. I think physically more stressed than I was giving my body credit for. Chloe says, my electric garage door broke last night, dyeing my hair this morning, and the guy should be here not long after to fix it. My social anxiety says, don't answer the door, but little girl in me says, werewolves can open unlocked doors, save yourself. That sounds like a struggle. Oh my god. Yes, cuddle piles, 10 out of 10. I love those. Love those. Miss says, honestly, the way you've addressed compression and anxiety has made a huge tool I get to use daily. You are most welcome, Quinn Miss. Like, that is definitely why I have a weighted blanket and a weighted dragon right here. Wait, Hell's Bells AO3 prequel story is turning into a book? Oh my gosh, I'm glad they're doing that. It's good content. Hi, Cassidy. Court says, are we luring men upon the rocks, Mermaid, or My Little Mermaid today energy? Well, actually, I'm going to answer Tiger Man first. Actually, baby goats in pajamas, they just go nuts, and it's cute. So, Um, today, today's look was kind of like, I do use makeup. I do use cosplays to process things. To like if I'm kind of like contemplating and going over something, and today's look was more, I had a much darker, heavier look on, like black lipstick and like dark purple wig and things like that. You can check out the content with it on either my Insta story or on TikTok. But I did like a dark siren, dark feminine rage type of content today. Oh, hi, incompetent heroes. Proud of you, Rosie, doing all the adulting. Don't forget food, water. We got it. I actually did the thing where I signed up for a food, like literally cooked food subscription service, and I was like, this is awesome. Because I just like making meals accessible was like a really great choice. Together today's process was rage, to a certain degree, yes. Just keep swimming, just keep swimming. What do? We just keep swimming. Actually, so something, as you guys know, I have been going through it like the past couple months, but also the past few years. And with PTSD, I have compounded trauma. And I ended up doing a lot of heavy trauma processing over the past week, and it actually had to do with my mom, who passed away about 8 years ago. And I've been processing a lot of things having to do with my voice, having to do with experiencing trauma. It came out amazing, thank you. And there's kind of like a whole history with my mom and her trauma, and watching her try to use her voice. And the thing is, like with things like sirens and banshees, right? You've got like this feminine rage monster, but then you look back at where the monster originates from, right? And so something that's really interesting to me is that these feminine monster archetypes, it's either a subversion of their voice or their beauty, like in the case of Medusa, where some aspect of a woman that is bright and brilliant and has so much to offer experiences exploitation, experiences trauma, and it takes those aspects and twists them into something that other people fear. And that was something like I remember growing up, watching my mom experience and watching her try to use her voice, and then having essentially she would try to like talk about what she was going through, and it would often be turned around on her. And it's my mom is actually one of the primary reasons, the basis of my content, the foundation of my content is mental health. Because it was very tough to watch. Tigerman says, if you want some very diverse and queer-friendly skits on TikTok, check out. I'm not sure why it blanked out part of it. Cassidy says, I've been taking a deep dive into Subnautica games, so Mermaid's the perfect vibe right now. I've heard Subnautica is scary. Survival Blade says, you kind of look like the character my ex wrote about called Siren. If she was dark blue, purple instead of pink, and you had your sharp teeth in. I did have the sharp teeth in earlier. She's the most epic character in our shared story and the most powerful. Stone cold badass. Penguin is lurking because they're scheming. Well, thank you for lurking. Let's see. Survival Blade says, by the way, a 7-year-old ruined my tattoo. She saw my tattoo and asked whatever forward never back meant, and when I told her, she said, so it's like just keep swimming, and I've not been able to take it seriously since. You know what? That's the thing though, with a lot of the deep philosophical statements can also be reduced to something very simple. Sometimes even memeable. Oh, Derico, hi! You're on mobile tonight. No worries. Court has been helping out. So you're good. Court, and speaking of Court says, I love banshees. The wailing women have such a deeply connecting story to me, and so I have always had a shared kinship with them. Aw. Mm. Look at me. I'm the meme now. Yeah, look at me. I'm the meme now. And yeah, actually, so I did the thing where I got myself a really great massage therapist who helped me. He's like basically been helping me with that. And I also, I had my first therapy session with a new therapist Monday. No, yesterday. Yesterday, actually. And the way that I'm just like, I'm kind of happy because this person they have experience working with people who are in the industry of labor that I am. It was so funny and sweet, but it took my edgy tattoo and turned it into Dory. Just keep spinning. Yes. Hi, Harley. Yes, we're a lot of pink today. And this therapist actually has a special emphasis on essentially helping you with your nervous system. So they're asking me during the intake what my like experience with therapy was up to this point, and I was like kind of not really great because it was most of my experience so far with therapy had been active listening, which you can kind of just get with a friend, right? So I have a lot of work. I have a lot of work to do in regards to my nervous system, especially with like PTSD and anxiety and helping because when you have PTSD, it's really hard to do accurate like threat assessments because lizard brain will fire off way too hard. It'll fire off way too hard on stuff that is not necessarily that serious or doesn't need like a full cortisol anxiety chemical release throughout the body. And yes, I do have my weighted squish. I do have my weighted squish back. Let's see. My brain just put together some things about banshees and why I feel it's so connected to them. Yeah. Cassidy says, Subnautica in the sequel gets scary at times, but you learn how to deal with the scary stuff. Although some of the bigger monsters it's best to either just avoid or zoom past. Oh, thank you, Angel Wolf. It is actually. It is. I'm very hopeful in regards to the support network that I am, the support network that I'm setting up for myself right now out here, because like I've been talking about in some of my streams how like I've been feeling like a sense of peace that I haven't for a long time, but it's also it's kind of a whiplash experience for me right now because you kind of get like the initial rush of moving to a new place, settling in, meeting new people, and all of that. But when you have an abrupt life change and then also PTSD, there's kind of an inevitable crash that happens where, I've also basically been challenging myself to try new techniques with my own healing. Because realistically, although I've been doing pretty well and having a lot of fun, there's also been like a realistic stepping back with myself to recognize that I've been in crisis mode and having a hard time, like realistically having a hard time with certain things. Court says nothing like religious trauma about prophets and banshees to make you feel kindred. Oh yeah. And yeah, being hopeful is the first step to success. It really is. So I kind of I knew that some kind of like crash was probably was inevitable, considering like especially after my rib went, I was like, no, my body has been having a hard time. Um, and there's just been like, not only did I have to like move my life very abruptly, I got flooded with so many intense emotions all at once during that time. There's a lot of like anger and grief that, while like in crisis mode, like essentially took. I've spent the past couple years setting up things to help myself regulate, and those life events kind of took my regulation tools and like wiped. Survival Blade says, I literally have to sit where I can see the door when I'm in public. Always have to have at least one knife on me at all times. I hope you're not in Canada, because apparently you can't actually do that unless it's visible. Hypervigilance even looks at everything as a weapon. Trust me, Rosie, anything you do for your mental health is always a good thing. Will never sound silly. For example, I can't even get a message because I can't stand not seeing the room, and I hate when people touch my back. Yeah, that sounds... Not wanting your back touched. I've heard from a few people of PTSD. Having the freedom of being in your own space is a big boon towards trying new healing as well. That it is. That it is. And I think I'm going to be a little bit like vulnerable, because I'm proud of myself in the vulnerability, or like the process that I've been in, because woof. Oof. Oh, hi. Hello. Nice to see you. Also, practicing what you preach is only hard when you preach good things. It's a journey, but you'll pull through. I like that. Practicing what you preach is hard when you preach good things. Survival says, in America, although I hear Northern Canada does pretty well. Yes. It's also Survival Blade. It's literally in your username. It's literally in your username. So... Let's see. Chloe says, my mother is a devout Catholic, tried raising me Christian. After a traumatic 2-week camp at 7 years old, became atheist before I knew it even existed. The toilet block was filled with giant mosquitoes and I'm allergic. You're like, there is no God. The mosquitoes have convinced me that there is no God. Yes. Thank you, Survival Blade. So I recognize that my brain was in crisis mode after like I kind of experienced a like compounding traumatic event in the moving process, and I kind of just decided that like it was very destabilizing. And also, so just a little heads up, what I'm going to talk about, it's deep subject matter. Please interact accordingly. I'm not going to dwell on it, and it's not something, it's just some stuff that's part of my own life experience, and I'm sharing it as kind of like motivation for where my thought process has been in my own journey of healing, because I've always wanted what I share to be constructive, but it's heavy stuff that you as a viewer do not need to take onto yourself, right? That or God hates us and wants us to suffer. Oh my goodness. Angel Wolf says, you should definitely be proud of that vulnerability. Like, you've been through a lot. Deserve to talk about it if you want. So amazing. Thank you. So, like I said, my mom has been... Oh, hi, Aurora. My mom has been kind of at like the forefront of my mind because like when I've been doing research into healing. Always has been constructive too. Thank you, Quinn Miss. I appreciate that. And the thing is with my mom, she passed away very young. She was very chronically ill, and the thing is, like, the way that her passing was treated in my family was as if it were a relief to everybody. Now, as I've been doing, and of course, like TikTok and things, if you're going through it, the TikTok For You page will like show you stuff that reflects whatever your brain's going through. And a lot of the time, we'll see you later, Derigo. I'm sorry the internet's not hanging in there, but it was awesome to hear from you. So a lot of the times when it comes to content, they'll be like, you went through all of this, but you stayed silent. You stayed so silent and so quiet, and that's how you're vindicated. I was like, wait, vindicated? I got traumatized. And also, why is silence? Why do we positively affirm those who go silence in response to being in pain? The thing is, though, like, my mom was the opposite of that. My mom was very vocal about what she'd gone through and where it came from. However, it was often kind of like turned on its head, and it would be used to convince the people around her that she did not accurately understand her own reality. And the hard thing for me, unfortunately, in that situation is that, in my opinion, I think that she would be here today, like, and the health crises would have eased if she had actually been listened to when she was talking about what she had experienced and talked about how she was literally in pain. And the thing is, you could see it. You could see it on her. You could see it on her body, and the way that it just shriveled, and it was hard. It was hard to watch. This guy says, the Catholic God, to be properly understood, demands a deep familiarity with H.P. Lovecraft written works. I would have to agree. Sometimes there's just like cryptid energy to the Bible, which Chloe followed up with, I thought H.P. Lovecraft was a horror author. They are. Have a book around here somewhere. Should read it. And oh, congrats Al Grey Ghost for the gifted sub. For sure. So I kind of just decided to try for my own sake and my own truth to be like more directly outspoken, and kind of like see where that took me. Like, because the thing is, I've talked a little bit about in my content how, like, and I haven't really spoken directly about it, but in my life, and this is where I'm talking about the heavier stuff, I have experienced SA, which is Schmexual Maschalt. I don't know how direct I'm allowed to be on this platform, honestly. Feels like similar to the concept of divine judgment, sort of a don't fight back because they'll get theirs from God energy. Yeah, it does. And it's like, well, what if God doesn't? Wonder if the people who wrote the Bible realized they're also horror authors. I doubt it. I also would like to worship a squid god. I think that'd be pretty great. And hi, Gentle Tap, welcome back. Says, hope you're doing well, looking very lovely today. If you're a mermaid, I jump from my boat to be drowned by your hand. No questions asked. Aw, that's so sweet of you. Nim says, whoever normalized their kink of stoicism against public shared pain, sickness, mourning without our consent. Shame. How are we today? We're doing all right. Welcome back, Epsilon. Welcome back. And so after I experienced SA, I would allude to it, but I didn't really talk about it. And I kind of like defaulted. I did default very much to that whole like you don't really talk about it, right? And especially because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's the reaction's going to be. Even if speaking is with the intent of like, I'm in pain, and to possibly rally community around yourself as a result, you never know, right? And this is something that like people who've experienced like domestic abuse and things like that are very well aware of. Always says we would all gladly follow her siren song if she started singing. And yeah, so the thing is, like, after I experienced SA, the urge to talk about it never went away. And it's been a number of years now. And also when it came to like my mom's passing, I did not really directly talk about it, but the urge to talk about it has been something I carried with me. And so when I've kind of had like four, because technically I was a first aid responder to a stabbing. But when it came to like, I guess the fourth compounding traumatic event, I realized I was going to go into crisis mode, and I decided to like try speaking more directly. and to see what that would happen, and so and see what that would do for me. And to some degree, it was kind of like I basically was like, I'm going to give myself a certain period of time to test talking and see how that impacts me. And it kind of had like, it was kind of like both positive and negative as an experience, I would have to say. Because on one hand, I think the struggle with PTSD for me is, especially when combined with high emotions, is understanding where the lines are for what to say. And so what I noticed is that it would go from constructive, like, this is what happened, this is what I've experienced, into venting, which can also feel very good. However, my experience with like venting is that it kind of felt like an immune response, right? Where the immune response is a fever. And basically a fever kills off whatever bad things are invading your body by like raising your body temperature. But if a fever continues too long, humans also cannot, being overheated can also take you out. And so I actually was able to spend some time outdoors by the water this weekend, which was so good. There's few things that are as effectively calming for me than just being by water. So I got to like basically have some time to test talking about certain things, and then I had a weekend where I got to step away and evaluate how I've been approaching my own like crisis mode going on. And yeah, I basically came away with like some notes for myself as to how direct I want to be. And one of the conclusions that I did have to come to is that like when it's very recent and you have high emotions plus PTSD, what you have to say may not be as constructive as you want it to be, and it can go another route that it felt like, well, whereas venting felt really good, it does feel escalatory, and it feels like as it's coming out, it feels good, but also the hard part about trauma is that it can make you feel mean and twisted. And I think for a lot of people, what you grieve when you've experienced trauma is loss of identity in that way, because being compassionate, kind, and understanding are core components to myself that I'm very intentional about. Like, it's not to be like, oh, I'm a saint. It is, while I am here, while I'm alive, these are the qualities I want to have in myself. And I try to be so very intentional about them. And nothing tests those types of values more than being in pain, especially as a result of like interpersonal experience. And I think like part of the crisis mode is feeling like there's a loss, because when you're in trauma mode, you feel anger. You feel a lot of anger, you feel a lot of grief, and you start like reaching for those parts of yourself, the kindness, the compassion, the being willing to understand. Your scheme is complete. What is your scheme? You're craving a salt lick? That's very specific. You might be low on electrolytes then. I don't know, drink a Gatorade. So there's kind of just been, yeah, that hits. That hits. And so for me, like when I say like I cried over the past like weekend, when it really hit me, when it really hit, just that sense, because I came and you guys, I've actually removed a lot of the content where I let myself vent. And just essentially, because I watched the venting go harder than I wanted it to, than like the me before that trauma would want it to go. It's the clip you just put in the clip channel. Okay, I'll have to look that over. You know what, Chloe? Whatever boats your float. Pain teaches you how to survive and reminds you you're alive, but too much can be overwhelming. Oh no, I'm very much. Oh, hi, Crimson Tech. Yeah, I don't know if it's as much of a rant, but and thank you, Angel Wolf. I appreciate that. I'm soaking up as much positive affirmation these days as I can. And so I kind of like I took a step back and decided to actually, because this might sound funny, but a lot of the mindset that I've been in recently was kind of initiated by an episode of Lost and a specific character in Lost. So it says pain trauma responses put us in survival mode and quiet the parts of us that we decided on that makes us us. I saw it a lot between my last job and personal life. Yeah, and that's hard. And I kind of like, I looked back over the venting I allowed myself to do and ended up bawling. Like absolutely bawling, because on one hand there absolutely is a desire to speak on my own behalf, to self-advocate, but then when you see, because with venting there's not the same restraints, there's not the same thing, because it feels so good, you get the dopamine response to being like like all of like stuff just starts coming out. And so like I stepped back, I looked at it, and I cried so hard. It felt like in that process where I'm trying to speak on my own behalf, that I was also, because venting gets momentum, and it felt like in that process where I want to use my voice so badly, but it's going like over here, it feels like you lose an essential part of yourself, where you're like, and you listen back to it and you're like, that's not me. I don't want to be that person. But the dopamine response, like I basically had to sit back and be like, if I continue to approach self-advocacy from a place of venting, then I'm going to, through the dopamine, that dopamine response you get through venting, I'm going to reinforce things in myself that I don't like and lose things that I do. And that was hard. That was hard. It's kind of brought me up against some tough and very vulnerable ego things. Let's see. Tigerman says venting has its place, and when done properly is very cathartic and can inspire others. And yeah, that's the thing, is that with venting, especially like on a public platform, you have to be very careful. But being careful and having PTSD with high emotions, it's a tough combo. It is a very tough combination, and it's hard to discern. It is very hard to discern where it is. And I very much appreciate the everybody in my community who sat through it with me. Survival Blade said, I was always told crying was weak growing up, and it's only in the last few years I've learned that not only is it okay, it's healthy to let it out, feel the tears flow. Letting out the rage is not only good, it's necessary. The rage shows you where you never want to go again, so you can change for the better. Yeah, and that's the thing, is that I've always compared anger to an immune response, and the struggle with trauma is it can change how your brain it's basically changes your emotional immune system, because instead of having an accurately functioning mental immune system that can accurately assess or restrain things like that, trauma goes in there and it unhooks neural pathways and changes things, changes chemical responses. And I think to a certain degree, having the psychology background that I do just it does not help, because you're self-aware. You're very self-aware, and so when a traumatic event happens, you're just like, oh fuck, I wonder how this is going to, like, what neural pathways are going to get like in this process. And that's also that's also something you're going to grieve, because you know it's going to change your brain, and not for the better. So, like I was trying to come up with like strategies to help myself manage crisis, manage anger, and I've actually finished. I finished all of Lost. It was about 6 seasons, and it's so very well done. I'm all about escape rooms and survival and things like that. So Lost is good content. I very much enjoyed it. I was so invested in the characters and the character development. It's got a little bit of a Game of Thrones side of it, in regards to characters being yeeted. Would you rather be self-aware and understand, or not see it and then get blindsided? That is a good point, Survival Blade. And it is good. It is good to be self-aware of it. Have I built a bug out bag yet? I didn't have a bug out bag. I had a first aid kit that was like the top of the line first aid type of stuff. But that ended up getting used up in regards to the stabbing incident I mentioned earlier. Tigerman says, kind of like when I found out about false memories. Actually question my memories more now than I did before. Yeah, no, that's the problem, is especially like with trauma, and if you're still around unsafe people, they'll use that to their advantage to basically be like, oh, you can't recognize reality properly. Therefore, anything you say is incorrect, or you're just like something to be put up with. It sucks. It really sucks. Hashtag justice for Arts. Poor Dr. Arts. And they did that twice in that show. Survival Blade says, built my own 300-piece first aid kit. Can treat anything from paper cut to a broken leg. I hope I never, ever have to deal with the broken leg scenario. Hi, she hath no name. You just got here. First thing I hear is stabbing incident. Yeah, I was a first responder. To a very unfortunate situation. Happened on my front porch, actually. Crimin says, you've always had such a careful approach to major topics you address when you intentionally address them, but I can see how the momentum could pull that away. Scary to lose control of your own voice. Yeah, it is. And I also, like I said, the scary part of it for me is that when it comes to venting and whatnot, as much as I want to advocate for myself, no, this was like 3-4 years ago, 5 years ago now, actually. Elise says, I don't know, 8, low-key wish I was blindsided. Watching it decline. Oh yeah, watching it decline's been rough. Decline as in I can pay attention to more stuff while putting out brain fires. It sucks. You know, it sucks. Sucks a lot. No, welcome to Chat She Hath No Name. We're talking about trauma. It was very intense. It added to the spicy PTSD brain for sure. So I'll kind of get to like the rest of it as I go along. So spoilers for the show Lost, just saying it right here, right now. And I also put a pin. I put a pin in the essay thing. So part of the reason that I decided to attempt allowing myself to vent was that the urge to speak about those things has never gone away. So I was thinking that maybe if I started talking about some things, it would alleviate the crisis mode. Survival Blade says, I once had to stitch my buddy's leg up with a needle and thread, 8 stitches, and it was one of the most terrifying things in my life. However, it's a great skill. Proud to know that you've been training that skill too. Oh yeah, I had a lot of advanced first aid training. Oh, thank you for the resubscription for 30 months. Aw, my gosh. Saying 30 months ago, I decided the House of Quartz is my internet home. Here's to another 30. You are so sweet. Let's see. Harley says, I've appreciated your recent videos which have been popping into my FYP. Wait, the cosplay ones or the mental health ones? Tigerman says, I didn't even know I had spicy brain until other people started pointing things out. Oh yeah, you gotta love when you share a funny story and everyone just looks at you horrified. Yeah. Yeah, both. So there's one character in Lost who, his name is John Locke, which I believe is named after like a philosopher. But in this show, basically the overall premise of Lost is that this plane full of people crashes on a remote island, and there's a whole mystery surrounding how they got there, how to get off the island. There's like a smoke monster. It's great. Take my word for it. It's great. But when John lands on the island, he was paralyzed from the waist down, and he was in a wheelchair. However, he gets the ability to walk restored to him once the plane crashes on the island. The mental health videos, I'm glad those have been helpful. Joel says, I'm glad you're talking about all this. We love hearing things that happen to us validated. And I appreciate it. Why is everyone always shocked, surprised when we share trauma as a joke? If we're not laughing, we're crying. Yeah, exactly. So this character, John Locke, he's kind of been going about his life. He works at a box factory, things like that. Pratchett says, my mind's still boggled. There's people who didn't see Lost. Well, I was a kid. I was actually pretty young when it came out. Hi, Rainbow. Welcome back to chat. How are you doing? So John's living a pretty mediocre life, and he finds out, like, he'd basically been told his whole life that his father was dead. And then at some point, he's like in his 40s when his mom is finally like, actually, you do have a dad. And this is where he's at. So he ends up hunting his dad down, meeting him, and then they establish what looks to be a really great rapport with each other. It looks like they managed to reconnect, and that everything is going well. Like he takes this father takes John hunting and fishing with him. They're bonding, they're having a good time. And then one day John comes in a little bit early and sees his father hooked up to a dialysis machine, like for kidneys. Finds out his father's kidney is failing. Now, John turns out to be a possible donor match. So John's like, yeah, I love my dad now that I've actually got to meet him. And they go through the surgery. So John wakes up from surgery and his father's not there. He's just gone. And he's like, what is happening? And then his mother shows up at the hospital and she's like, I'm so sorry. And he's like, what is happening? He shows up at his father's house, which was a really nice house. It had a gate with a guard. Like his father was pretty wealthy. And the guard at the gate won't let him in. And he's like, oh, can I see my father? And they're like, you're no longer welcome here. Basically, this man had sent the mother years later to like pull him in, establish a relationship with him in order to steal his son's kidney. He didn't actually have any kind of intention of having a real relationship with him. He was literally just in it for a kidney. And of course, like, John's brain has such a very hard time comprehending this. Very traumatic. After 5 years, spoilers are open territory. Good, because you're getting spoilers. Yeah, what in the Candy Mountain, right? We're going to Candy Mountain, Charlie. Candy Mountain. Yeah, it turns out his father is wealthy because he's a con man. He's basically just doesn't really have empathy. At least no one's stolen your organs. At least no one has, like, in all the traumatic events that I've experienced in my life, at least no one's stolen. Knock on wood for that one. I would like to keep them. I have enough health issues. They made more Lost? No, this is me talking about the original Lost. I finally watched it for the first time. Sounds like narcissistic organ harvesting. Oh my gosh. Yeah, by the way, Darth Vader is Luke's father. Spoilers. Candy Mountain. I want a magical Leopleurodon. A magical Leopleurodon, Charlie. Yes, the show that ended like 14 years ago. It's been out for a while. It's been out for a hot second. So John ends up, oh, thank you for the hydrate, Quimmis. John starts doing this thing where almost every day he sits outside of his father's house in the dark, just in his car, staring at his father's gate, this closed gate that won't let him in. And he just does this day after day. I need to start watching things all the way through. I got so invested in it. No one's stolen your organs. I know, right? The bar is in hell. Mika says, this is why I always let friends know where I am when I meet a new person. Don't want to wake up in an ice bath with a missing kidney. Also, the Titanic sinks. Spoilers. And I was actually lost. I don't know why, but like this show has actually had a few characters and a few storylines that really help put some things in perspective for my own healing and my own trauma. But John, you watch John, this poor guy who hasn't really had a great life, who thought he'd established something really great and loving and caring with somebody who should be a primary caregiver. You watch him day after day sit there in his car just staring at his father's gate. And the way that my heart just like I did not expect like this 40-some-year-old like bald guy to be the character that really hit for me, but there's a lot of hot women in this show, I will say. Gay. Waking up in an ice bath, I'm more afraid that a transphobe makes me never wake up. That's fair, Cassidy. That is fair. The Titanic lost to lettuce. I don't think that's inaccurate. Elena says hi. Aw. And so he does this for a while until he eventually ends up in group therapy, specifically group therapy for people who have experienced being exploited or taken advantage of in some way. And he ends up connecting with another woman in the group, and it was, Rainbow says you got a rental wheelchair for Weekends LARP. Amazing. I'm glad you're gonna be able to make it out. Yes. Evangeline Lily, yes. So he ends up in a long-term relationship with this woman that he meets at group therapy, but he doesn't stop going out every night. And so even though they kind of live together, you'll see him leave her in bed and just go and sit there at his father's gate until at one point she confronts him and is like, this is not healthy. You should not be sitting here day in and day out. He's not coming. And she's like, basically you need to choose our life, our relationship moving on versus like sitting out here, because this is not good. This is not good for us. And he tells her, no, okay, I'll stop. You're right. But it's become a compulsion. It's gone on for so long, it's become a compulsion for him. And then if she stole his other kidney, oh my god, well, he'd be dead. He would be dead. But because it's a compulsion for him at that point, he still sneaks out, and she catches him and breaks up with him. And at some point, the father does come out and like gets in the car with him and is like, get over it. Alexa, stop. Alexa, stop. I don't know why she started that. Father harvesting your organs therapy? No, that's border too. This is 1A for fathers who didn't bring home the milk. So the father gets in the car with him and is basically like, yeah, I took you for a sucker. That's all there is to it. Like, you're not getting anything. You're not getting anything here. You're not getting anything from me. Like, you want me to say sorry? I'm not going to say sorry. Like, I wanted your kidney. I got your kidney. And he just goes. Apparently she does. Evangeline Lilly's the Wasp in the MCU. No kidding. Okay, I haven't really watched a lot of that, so I'd have to look more into it. Um, Sleeping Beauty has a sleeping curse. Yes, also plot twist. Spoilers. Spoiler alert. Um, and then actually later on, like, John commits to moving on with his life, and eventually his father comes back through, and instead of choosing to walk away, John catches his father in another con where he's trying to get married to this wealthy woman for her money, and John is like, no, you need to break up with her and you need to leave. And instead his father pushes him out a window. Like, literally, the reason John is paralyzed from the waist down when he like lands on the island is because his father literally would rather push him out a window and run rather than step up. So I was watching the episode where you see John just sit there, and it stuck with me, and I was trying to like figure out where the application was, and I realized, like, with my own stuff, I need to figure, in my own healing process, I need to figure out where, because I don't know. I genuinely, for all of like life experience, working through trauma, taking all the psych classes, I don't necessarily know where effective self-advocacy is versus sitting at the gate too long, if that makes sense. Yeah, imagine being pushed out of a window. Like, it was up there too. So he lands on his back, breaks his back. I thought Thanos was a horrible father. No, this guy might take the cake. Thanos technically kills his daughter in order to wipe out half the universe. So I think Thanos still is king of bad fathers. Might have lost on DVD. Well, here's your sign to play it again. And there is an episode with Saeed, another character who used to be a torturer, actually, and he ends up being confronted later on in life by one of his victims. The PTSD on main. Dawes, thank you so much. Good morning, good evening to you. How are you? Alisai says it's something you pretty much have to mess up. It's one if those lives you've defined, hopefully with support and a pro. Yeah, hopefully. Also, Thanos stole more than his daughter's kidney. Yeah, he did turn one of his daughters into a robot. So there's that. There is that. So I've kind of had to sit back with like self-advocacy versus venting, and that's where a lot, like, when I have not actually like cried in the way that I have cried over this past like few, like, I would say 5 days. Application is simple. If you hold on to these people, they'll push you under the bus. Period. Yeah, also, I think there's a similar analogy to, like, if you hang on to this rope, your hands are gonna get burned. Oh yeah, Nebula got the General Grievous treatment. And yes, Doss, I have been having fun sticking pearls. I covered myself in pearls today. Getting pushed out of a window is the third leading cause of death in Russia. Also, yes, Nebula works. Nebula works for me. I don't know if I call her mommy, but the women who can kill me. Women who can kill me. So I kind of had to work through so much grief. Oh my gosh. Ren, hello. Hi, welcome back. Red Panda Apothecary. Hello. Grievous actually volunteered for the cyborging. Yeah, Nebula did not exactly volunteer for the cyborging. Yeah. Yeah, I got like this lovely pack of pearls just to glue everywhere. I am a very simple creature. It takes cheese and gluing things to my face and I'm pretty happy. Harley says, I will call Nebula mommy. She might kill you for that. Like, I feel like I wouldn't call her mommy because I feel like she herself wouldn't necessarily vibe with mommy. I have an opinion on Amy Pond, Karen Gilligan's other... Who is Karen Gilligan in this show? Because I don't remember the actor's name. I just know them by, like, whatever character they played in this show. That would be more of where I go for. Don't worry, I will not be gluing cheese to my face. I do draw the line at that one. That would be a lot of bacteria in your skin, in your pores. Ugh, ew. So, yeah, we kind of... Oh, Karen Gilligan is Nebulin. Oh, okay. I don't know who Amy Pond... I don't know the character Amy Pond. I haven't watched Doctor Who. So, I really couldn't tell you. So, I kind of... this is something that, like, I brought up with... Why cheese on face? No cheese on face. No cheese on face. And I'll one of the things, like, in the intake when my therapist was like, are you straight? No. Definitely not. One of the things I brought up with my therapist during the intake when she was like, what are your goals? And I was like, well, I need to find effective ways to use my voice because, like, what I'm experiencing here is I'm finding in some ways concrete, like slowly gaining concrete ways of self-advocacy versus diving into venting for the sake of just how good it feels to vent. And I think to a certain degree, venting in certain places, in certain areas, to certain people is effective, but it can take yourself and your content into, like, away from what really matters to you. It takes a lot to unpack, even try to heal from the magnitude of experience phase. I think that's part of the compressed part of it. Yes. Only good thing about MCU Snyderverse crossover is the Nebula times Cyborg ship. Oh, that'd be interesting to see. Yeah, exactly. Cheese goes in face, not on face. She's only as straight as spaghetti sometimes. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. No, most of my play partners tend to be, or who I collab with tend to be women, or the lovely theys and thems. But in that process, I was basically like, yeah, I want to find ways to no, cheese does not equal face. Cheese does not equal face. But yeah, I was essentially like, one of my goals is trying to find, like, constructive ways of talking about what I've experienced without further putting myself at risk or going into, like, non-constructive ways that take away from me. And fuck's sake, did that thought process led me into some character development shit that is profound. Cheese equals nom. And yes, we do love our babies. Some use the Kinsey scale. We, the House of Quartz, use the inflatable tube man scale. Spray cheese in mouth, not face. I feel like Nebula would enjoy having her own mommy. Possibly. I feel like she's maybe possibly a power bottom. You bought 3 kinds of cheese sticks yesterday. Hell yes. Love that. Getting that character development. Oh. So when I'm coming across 2 conflicting factors in my life. The first being that leaving Adventism, I made a commitment to myself to focus and drive for effective means of healing and community. That was something that was so important to me because I saw I saw the way that people responded to my mom's pain. Like, my mom experienced a lot of trauma from a very young age, but instead of listening to her, instead of coming around her, it's very weird, but I think something that people who've experienced SA can relate to is that when you say, I've been hurt by this, something happens where, like, it's almost like people go into scheme chessboard mode around you and around your pain, and they try to sidestep it, try to tell you you don't really understand the reality of what happened to you. They'll try to tell you you took it too hard, or they'll withdraw. It's a very weird thing. But if you come out of something like Adventism, instead of community coming around you, protecting you, stepping up for you, they'll withdraw and go into like this weird chessboard mode where your pain is treated like almost like it's like an explosive, like it's gonna go off, and it's weird. I never take it too hard. No such thing as taking it too hard. But it does not equal that. Why are you defiling the cheese? Why are you defiling the cheese? Nebula's a princess? I don't know. Nebula works pretty hard. Been there, had that issue in an old relationship. Yeah. It's hard. It's hard and it's disorienting. But I watched it with my mom, and in my own process of experiencing SA, all of these people in my life, like the church community I grew up in, the families, none of them actually checked in on me. Like, instead there became this whole thing about how, like, I was leaving to become a witch and stuff like that, but no one in my family, no one in their family, no one in the community that raised me saw it and checked in on me. It was like my queer friends, my friends who were outside of that religion by that time, my friends, this has been the case too every time, is that the people who are like, oh fuck, you experienced this thing, they're all people who have also experienced trauma. And it is very disorienting to experience this thing where you get told over and over, like, church is community, you have to keep attending church because community protects you, community keeps people accountable. But instead, when somebody experiences assault within that type of community, everyone just goes like this away from them. They probably thought they could pray the SA away. Yeah, that's the thing, is that for all of the talk about how important church community is, not a single one of them actually reached out and was like, are you okay? Are you safe? And so I made a commitment to myself to be the opposite of the people who raised me. I made a commitment to be the opposite of my family, because and that's kind of where, it's why I have a strong emphasis on things like consent. It's why I have a strong emphasis on things like ethics and boundaries, is because I do not want to be the person who sees someone else at risk, someone else in pain, and go like this away from them. I want to be the person who can see it, identify it, and step up and surround and uplift, help protect that person. I want it to be the opposite. You really need to see the X Pearl Maxine trilogy? I've never heard of it. Never heard about. Which witch are we discussing? Apparently me. This is why we make our own communities, I think. We get ousted from our first, and then we either make or find another that's true to their word. We never want to be like what we were raised by. Exactly. So as I'm finding myself in more of a venting process, that's where it came up, because if my core values are to be compassionate and understanding, that includes compassion and a willingness to be open and understanding towards the people that I feel hurt by. which, woof. Woof. Got a lurk? Well, thank you for lurking. I appreciate it. It's good to see you in chat. Good, because you're better than your family anyways. No one should be treated like that. No, exactly. The thing is, there used to be a joke. When I was taking psychology classes, there was this joke where it was like, you can't be mad at people because you understand where it stems from. And yeah, there's certain things that there's no excuse for. Nobody should be treated that way. And so, like, woof. In the process of my own healing, there was something in myself I've been avoiding. And a lot of it out of fear and anxiety, that it popped. Especially, I've talked about having starvation anxiety. I've talked about like struggles with fear around housing and trying to find ways to effectively advocate for myself, surrounding my at-risk needs, surrounding my support needs. But also, I had to really critically examine how my own fear and anxiety can impact those around me who don't have the same risk factors as I do. Because on one hand, yes, I do think that I should be able to expect people who have more privilege than me to recognize that I'm at risk and to honor it. But the way that it was so hard for me to be like, the feelings of people with privilege, like, even if they have privilege, they still have feelings. Because I had to check something in myself where I'm like, at what point does my own at-risk stuff go from self-advocacy into boomer mom? Like, you know, that boomer mom who kids cut contact with because when you try to talk to her about how you're feeling, she's like, well, I've experienced all of this. Like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean? Like, you've got this going on. Like, look at what I've been through. Like, it was giving Gen X. I'm trying to figure out, like, when it's giving self-advocacy and when it's giving Gen X mom. So, hydrate. Thank you, Angel Wolf. The time of my own obligatory tragic lore arc, the only church members checking in and were to make sure I was praying and studying scripture or to hound me back to church. So yeah, thanks. Thanks, community. I appreciate that, Sky. Court says, one of the big issues that healing has made me deal with is understanding that a person can genuinely mean to help you and still do harm, and that the harm I suffered doesn't change the intent of the action, but also doesn't negate the harm that was done. Yeah. And that is a very good point, Court. Thank you for sharing that. Because for myself, in what I was experiencing, it was so painful. It was so painful, and it put me in crisis. My gosh, Marnie Pixie Stream Snail, thank you so very much for the raid there. Court, would it be possible to get a shout out for our raiders? Welcome in, everybody. I hope you had a great stream. Welcome to chat. Smiling in the shower. Phone call, you know I can't answer. And thank you for the follow, Marnie. It is so appreciated. How did you find us over here? And hello, Liminatrix and More Joey. Don't call me, no, I can't answer. More Joey, also thank you for the follow. Welcome to the House of Quartz Twitch/YouTube streaming community. Welcome. You're playing some Fortnite. Well, hi. I hope you had a great time. playing some Fortnite, hanging out with your community. Of course, please remember do your streamer aftercare. Hello, Indica Stoner 420. Yes, we have a Marnie raid coming in. Hello, hello. And hi to the new viewers. I am Rosie. I'm a variety content creator and streamer. I tend to do things like this where I glue stuff to my face and make lots of just fun different looks with makeup to make brain go brrr. Let's see, one of my partners, Limitrix, loves you, so I took her recommendation. Oh my god, Limitrix is one of your partners. Well, thank you for the recommendation. I was like, I recognize that username. Well, thank you for the recommendation. So very much. Okay. So hopefully, I probably have undiagnosed ADHD, so hopefully I'll remember to look you up later. If I don't remember, somebody please remind me. Yes, and elsewhere follower. I was like, I recognize Limitrix. So cool. Thank you. Well, I appreciate it so much. I'm excited to possibly see some more interaction between us all in the future. And for those who are just joining us, aside from like makeup and stuff like that, we've been talking about mental health and healing from trauma. So we will be hopping into some gameplay here soon. We're just at the moment we have been talking about some kind of like heavy subject matter. So interact accordingly. I'm more than happy to have you here, have you listen in. Exactly, Skull to the Raiders. Rollis has been lurking while cleaning and refreshing a sensory bin for work. Ooh. And yes, we've got more members of the House of Quartz. Hugs from Toronto. Hey, also from Toronto. Toronto now. So a little bit of context for those coming in. I myself, like, I have PTSD, and I'm kind of talking about some of my own healing process and where I've been at recently within the context of that. And yeah, just we basically been following a trajectory of thought. So welcome in everybody, and of course to Marnie, yes, it's okay if you raid and lurk, raid and run. Thank you for dropping your community off with me. All the good stuff, all the cheeses. May your cheese always be delicious and plentiful. So where we were in the conversation, I was talking about like I kind of have an extensive trauma history, plus I have some factors regarding my life, my labor, that put me at risk. And so I've kind of been talking about my experience with like having these at-risk factors, but also how those at-risk factors integrate with like interpersonal relationships. And I've had to like delve back, like I've been looking back over a few different like people in my life. Like this is in reference to like a number of people, but trying to like critically examine how my own support needs, or like my own fear and anxiety around my support needs, can impact those around me, but also specifically impact my capacity for other people's feelings, because I think that's something I also have been grieving. Oh, thank you, Limitrix. Like in that grief process is that before 2020, I had a much higher capacity for compassion. I had a much higher capacity for making space for people. And then after I experienced SA and I entered into the line of work that I'm in now, that like keeps me alive but puts me at risk at the same time, my capacity went from like here down to like here. Which, listen, Harley, that's not helping. Yes, I do try to be fairly open with that. And so now when you go through some of the stuff that I've gone through, and you're doing research into it, thanks to pop psychology, the first stuff that pops up is all about narcissism and healing from narcissistic abusive relationships, which hasn't really been helpful, especially because like narcissistic personality disorder is a disorder, and a lot of the framing in regards to healing from it really just villainizes people with that disorder. And narcissism is very well known to be the type of disorder where there's no room for change. Like it's intense. The way that narcissism is approached is very intense, and I would say it's like that has not been helpful, because it puts things in a context where if there's been a sense of conflict with somebody, a sense of being hurt by somebody, but all you're being like fed is all this information about how they're inherently the bad guy, you're just the victim, and you didn't really do anything wrong. They played you, they manipulated you, etc. There's something about like I don't really like that. I don't really like that framing of like, oh, this like it's okay. Like if you're going through your hurt, you can fast track your healing because you did nothing. They were a narcissistic villain. And that doesn't make space for, I think like narcissistic personality disorder is technically a very, very small portion of the population. And my own value system is more along the lines of we're all piloted by a squishy thing that's doing its best. Marnie says loving yourself is a good thing, but loving yourself too much is definitely something people should second guess. Yeah. Well, the thing is with like narcissistic personality disorder is actually a shame. It's a shame-based disorder. It stems from having so much shame about yourself that your brain creates a false, grandiose sense of self. But of course, at some point, there's something called narcissistic collapse where that grandiose self falls apart and they fall apart. Yeah, hard to make space for others when crappy people take it all first. I love that for you, Court. Time to turn the stream. Let's turn the stream cozy mode. Yeah, and yes, Das, exactly. Capacity for compassion got forced out of you, and it's a very sad way to grow. It's hard. That was something I was grieving. It is a feeling of like I don't think in and like once again like I'm looking at like a wide range of interactions with people since experiencing more trauma and being put at risk. Is I want to examine critically my own self and my own behavior, and I was kind of grieving where like my own lack of capacity may have negated my ability to see how I impacted others. And that's fuck, that hurt one. That one hurt like a bitch, to just be like, because it's hard. You like we all have like self-serving biases. We all have like biases that are meant to protect ourselves and protect our ego. And so I've been intentionally challenging myself to confront the fear that I have around survival, and of course the desire to protect my own ego, to just be like, if I approach what I experienced from a lens of, oh, they were a narcissist, or something like that, like I just took it all. I was just a receptive. I just was on the receiving end of this, and I don't think that's fair. I don't. And that was something else. That was another critique I had about venting, is that it can become an echo chamber. It can become an echo chamber of just affirming myself to the point where like I rob myself of the opportunity to grow, and not hear out another person, right? William says NPD is a lot newer on the books than a lot of disorders, and so diagnoses are not an accurate measure of actual cases, though this is a very complex topic. I have NPD diagnosed comorbid with BPD, so I've been looking into it. Yeah, apparently there's a lot of comorbidity with NPD and BPD. Oh, yeah, quite possibly, she hath no name. But of course, like, I'm very much of the opinion that, like, we can't diagnose people. If we're not their therapist. Yeah, exactly. We are goo piloting a biomech. Court says demonization really oversteps so much the healing that comes with harm done. Trivializes the harm by devaluing, fuck, I know words, the worth of the perpetration. The fact that you're checking in on yourself, making sure makes... Listen, I am trying. This one sucks. This being willing to like look at my own fear head on. And then, because it's hard because you want to be like, if your own behavior hurts somebody else and you don't really have capacity and you're at risk, it is so easy to knee-jerk react with like, oh, you're hurt about something? Why don't you eat groceries about it? Why don't you why don't you sleep in your bed in the home like that you have? Why don't you talk to your living parents about it who are still together, right? Like, it becomes so easy to go from constructive self-advocacy into not hearing somebody because you're just like you've got feelings. Boo-hoo. Boo-hoo, you have feelings. I'm glad that you get to like have all this comfort around you while you sort out your feelings. Like, it becomes so easy to like, this is where I've been at, like in my own critical healing process, is being like, I don't want to be Gen X mom. I don't want to have that happen. And so I've been trying to be very critical of that and try to make space and room for even in the situations, even with like my own family. Like, I've been very like internally harsh and critical of them over the past like few years. And I've been trying to get to a place where all of the like the tightness and constriction, I've been trying to apply more kindness and grace and understanding while still setting advocacy boundaries of like, we still need to adhere to this. Also, the victim framing removes the sense of agency from those who survived. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like, while venting feels good, I've never wanted to frame myself as a victim because I definitely did not get it all right. And I think my own mistakes give me agency. It's really hard to see both sides of the coin. Give yourself slack. Because yeah, if I step back and I don't frame it as, oh, I was just... these people in my life, they were narcissists. I did my best, but they were narcissists. Not likely. It's not... I don't think it's likely that is the case. Harley says, I admire the work you're doing for yourself. I appreciate you discussing it with us. These discussions have me reflecting on my past relationships, both casual and intimate. Well, I'm literally, my only hope is that they do ultimately turn out to be constructive. Because unfortunately, the best way to figure out how to use my voice is to experiment with testing. Is to experience with testing it out. And that's why, like, I've been intentionally experimenting with like learning, like let's frame it from a learning and informative education model, or maybe I will just vent about it and see where that goes. And like, I've been testing. I've literally just been trying by trial and error to figure out the best, most effective way to do that. And in regards to like the situations, like my intent, like Rose Quartz is community. It's interpersonal love and connection. And I don't think healing or restitution or understanding can be found in your voice becoming a battering ram or in mocking. You can't be kind and an asshole. It's fine. It's fine. One of the things with being hurt is after a while it's hard to recognize when you're hurting others. Yeah, exactly. Because if you've been in crisis or survival mode for a long time, being able to accept that your own behavior, like there's like the other, whoever hurt you could also be hurting. Oh, because the way that like your lack of capacity means that you become so resistant to that. Oh, these talks and discussions are some of the best things. They help us all get a lot of stuff off our chests. I'm glad that some of you guys have been experiencing them as helpful. One of the things with being hurt is after a while, yeah, just read that. These deeper constructive discussions have made a much greater impact than you'll ever really be able to see with much personal experience. Thank you for opening up a bit you do to share and address this stuff. Well, thank you. I really do appreciate my community just sitting with me through it. Impulse is off tonight? Your impulse? What do you mean by that, Court? And yeah, that's been the hardest part about it. Actually, like, I was talking with my younger sibling a number of years back about our struggles with connecting with our dad, and they were talking to me about how frustrating it was because he would put a lot of pressure on us, and he would be and my sibling was saying, I feel like I'm already giving everything. And when you have trauma and you're just trying to survive and your body hurts, because the level of chronic pain I was managing on a daily basis, and trying to understand another person's point of view, like if they're not a narcissist, if they themselves are trying their best, they've got their own shit going on, trying to have the capacity to understand where they're coming from is so fucking limited. And then your ego is going to have a hard time with that. You're going to want to protect yourself from, because I always wanted to show up. I always wanted to, I have this thing where I'm like, if I'm with you, I want to be this really great experience, loving and affirming and all of this stuff. Like, I have so much pressure on myself to show up that way. And it can be a real bitch slap, like up the side of your own ego, to be like, maybe you don't have the capacity that you want to. Maybe all, like, you have these expectations, but maybe you're not hitting them. As annoying as it is, healing is nonlinear. Thank you, Quimus. Yeah, I don't think I have that kind of grace for my family, so I'm extra proud of you for trying to see it both ways. It's taken years, like, especially with my family, trying to reframe, and it's taken years. I find that framing oneself as a victim can be a survival tactic and can help one survive the escaping or ending of unhealthy relationships. But past that, I do feel it becomes an obstacle. Framing oneself as a survivor can get the healing process started. In the end, such mindsets can have their place, but one needs to evolve as they go in order to heal and move on. Yeah, exactly, William. Thank you. That's a really great point. This guy says, I don't know, the fact that who hurt me is hurting too makes me feel better, but frustrated because I want them to suffer, but that's one of my most toxic traits. And you see, I have experienced, like, I think we all have experienced that. I think it's a very natural human inclination to be like, I am in so much pain, maybe you should have some of this too. And I ended up moving away from that mental model specifically because dysregulation does not lead to anything good. Like, if I'm hurting, I'm dysregulated, and then you become dysregulated. Like, let's say hypothetically you hurt me, I'm dysregulated, and then something happens, like you have like your whole like villain arc, it gets thrown back, karma, whatever, and now you're like you as the person who hurt me are dysregulated too. Then that person's capacity for growth and healing is impeded. And when I started framing it that way, I I got to the point where I'm like, I have to find ways to sit with my own hurt, but I've never wished dysregulation or loss of luck, loss of health, loss of security. I've never actually wanted somebody to experience the same. Like, even with like my family, I wouldn't want them to experience what I have. Like, when it came to, as hurt as I am with my family about some things, I wouldn't want them to experience the 3 months that I did going hungry. I wouldn't wish it on anybody, because if you've experienced the things that I've experienced, it drastically reduces your chances at growth. Let's see. These discussions, if nothing else, show people that these hurts and traumas are not uncommon. Feel your feelings. Others are going through tough times too. Yeah, exactly. And so now I've kind of had to come out the other side of trying to, I'm trying to challenge myself to confront where starvation anxiety, survival anxiety, and reduced capacity may impact others, right? I wouldn't want my family to suffer. I just want them to leave me alone. I think that's fair. Quimmis says, escalation threatens healing. There's room for feeling your anger and hurt, but there's ways to do that without there's ways to express anger and hurt without hitting return to sender. Exactly. And I think to a certain degree, like, especially like my voice, my platform, it's the only form of, like, I don't have much social privilege. Like, I'm a woman, I do the labor that I do, I have the trauma that I have. Like, there's a lot of privilege and security I may never have in my life. And it sucks. It really, like, it's something you feel in every relationship with somebody who does have privilege. And ain't it the truth? There's been so much extra hurt simply trying to take apart the things that are already hurting you. Indeed, yeah. William says, not gonna lie, Rosie, since coming across your streams, I've always wanted to be able to hang out and talk about all these mental health things. Intelligent, articulate, enjoyable to interact with. This is meant solely as a compliment. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate the compliment. Tigerman says, sometimes I wish people would experience a bit of what I do, but only to the point where they see where I'm coming from. And it's hard. It's hard because you want to be understood, but you also, like I was saying with like the gate analogy, you don't want to sit outside somebody's gate for too long. Maslow's hierarchy of needs is tough to navigate. Self-actualization is hard to grasp when you need security and emotional regulation. 100%. 100%. And it's one of, actually, like, the commitment in like my own therapy process moving forward is going to be specifically targeting anxiety regulation of my body, survival regulation, because unless I like have some direct conversations with people where I'm able to be more open and receptive to their point of view on the situation, I won't necessarily know, but I do actually, if the situations that I've experienced are not from a place of like they're a narcissist, like an unchangeable narcissist, that means that I also had agency, I also had culpability in those interpersonal connections, including with families. So if I'm keeping that in mind, then I also have to keep in mind that even in my own space, my own platforms, I don't want to become like a self-righteous martyr who had no agency. I would want to be able to make space. I might not necessarily really want them in my space anymore moving forward. Yeah, you want understanding, not immersion. don't let the gate turn into the window. Yeah, there's this is kind of like the hardest. This has been some of the hardest, most difficult introspection and openness. Trying to move past fear and anxiety and hurt into receptiveness and understanding for the other side, because there are two sides to every story. And so there, in all of these compounding events, because like for me it's not just one, it's not one relationship, it's not just one spot, it's like a compounded experience across my life. And I know like the hardest to examine where their behavior comes from would be from the person who I experienced SA with, for sure. But yeah, it's something that oh, thank you for hanging out. Thank you for hanging out, Angel Wolf. This has definitely been the most difficult. The most difficult is trying to transition from anger and like a sense of helplessness, transition from like sometimes very overwhelming grief into what is my own culpability, what like if, and I also have like the concern of like if I try to get back agency in a situation where I had somebody leverage power over me, but I tried to get agency back through my voice in a way that's cutting, then I could bring out things for them that don't help in their own process, their own growth, their own healing in a situation with me, right? Because when I say this shit's hard, this shit is hard. The shit is if you're silent about your pain, they'll kill you and say you enjoyed it. Woof. Woof. Yeah, and so I've been trying to figure out where the balance is. The balance is of saying I'm in pain, I'm hurt, to also taking accountability to my own behavior and where I may have hurt others in a situation, and trying to find that middle ground, because the shit is bananas. BANANAS. Yeah. That's hard because I don't think a lot of interactions where we get hurt come down to something as intense as narcissistic personality disorder. And we often, like I was saying, we villainize that quite frequently. I don't think it comes, these situations come down to a black and white. And so part of my own work in that sense of self-acceptance is that anytime I've tried to approach this, yeah, life on hard mode. Citizen Soldier song is my scars, my war paint, wear mine with pride. Have to head out. Oh, thank you for bringing everyone in for a raid, Limitrix. And for those who came in for a raid, yeah, like this, typically the content here is not this heavy. This is more like a very specific special stream, and to talk about some things. We'll be going. Part of the reason we're having this conversation is because I want to start redirecting to my usual content, like refocus. William says, understanding the other side is admirable, can be a good thing, but only so much as it brings understanding and knowledge. Yes, they're human, but we need to make sure we're not letting ourselves excuse their behaviors simply because of that understanding. Yes, they're hurting, but that does not mean they can pass on, reciprocate the pain. Yeah, and that's where it's been for me, where the hard part for me was acknowledging that there was pain on their end at all. Because it alters you. it changes you in so many ways to experience going hungry. Um, one of the hard things about going through a period of time where you don't have consistent access to food, it will change your relationships, your friendships, your connections to family. It will fundamentally alter some things. Yeah, I know the link isn't working. I keep forgetting to change it. Scars prove you've been through some shit and came out alive. Yeah, exactly. It's not easy to be considerate of others while trying to address the very things that have shaped your life, scarred your mind. Doing great in that nonlinear progression, though. I'm very much working on it. I'm very much working on it because, aw, thank you for the head squishy, little squishies. It's tough because you do still have to do yourself, like, basically where I'm at is trying to figure out self-advocacy versus going social justice warrior for yourself on somebody else, who's basically trying to mitigate their own hurt. And so this is something where I've been sitting down and going like from recent all the way back to being like, where is it? Because I came to the realization that I don't want. Aw, thank you, Marnie. Thank you so much for the raid. Thank you very much. Hopefully we'll see you more in the future. But I sat with it and I realized that I don't want my own trauma. I don't want my own I don't want starvation anxiety and these terrible things that I've experienced to rob me of growth. Sure, Court, what is it? And that growth being able to see somebody else's side. And so what I realized, what basically my own thought process became, is I was trying to talk on my own behalf. I was trying to express and speak my voice in a way that would be healing and constructive, because I hadn't done the work to confront the starvation anxiety and confront survival trauma. I was speaking in a way about all these situations that I've experienced in a way that took me into being, I think, cutting and not constructive, if that makes sense. Because yeah, I went hungry a good bit growing up, so I had the mentality that I always had to finish my plate of food and not waste it. It's still difficult for me to deal with trying to eat food healthfully. If I go days without eating, pass out before I waste food. Yeah, that feels familiar. That feels a little familiar. And so basically, what I've learned in this experience of trying to speak is that I had to confront some areas where, like, my own lack of growth or lack of capacity was impacting how effective and constructive my voice was when talking about certain things. Court says, was able to get a new tech for my digital art and the time it takes to do a full character piece and down from 10 hours to 5.5 hours, which opens the door to start commissions. Congratulations, Court. That's a good watch you level up. Quimma says, yeah, instead of using bricks to build things up, you're throwing them through windows. Fuck! I think that's a pretty good analogy, actually. I think you're pretty on point there. And so I can feel it. Like, one of the things I've been working at is seeing how my body responds to certain concepts, and I can recognize for myself the concept of looking at a situation where I feel like hurt. Like, if I'm looking at my family, looking at friendships, and in situations where I might feel hurt and unheard. When it comes to the part where I used to be so much better at it, but when it comes to being like, no, you also may be doing or saying something that somebody experiences as hurtful, I had a much harder time with it. There are definitely some barriers to that, and I can feel it. When it comes, if I actually ask myself to look at a situation and be like, well, what about you? What was something you were doing or saying that somebody might experience as hurtful? I feel it in my body. There's like a whole physical nervous system response where I'm realizing with PTSD, because PTSD means I have a hard time recognizing threat, is that my theory is that my brain started registering certain types of communication as threat, and that was rough. that was a really rough, because if I have on one hand an intention to be open, kind, caring, compassionate, understanding, but my brain is registering certain types of communication as threat, that negates this other side. And that kind of like the grief response I had to that was immense, because I'm like, fuck, where might I have missed things or had things change within friendships and stuff like that, where yeah, due to money issues as a kid, have an unhealthy relationship with food. That's not uncommon. And yeah, growing up in poverty as well for myself, I can relate. William says, one final thing before I immerse myself in gaming while lurking. If it's healthy and necessary for one's recovery and healing, then forgiving one's abuser or aggressor is good. That does not mean they should no longer be held accountable. You can forgive someone while still holding them accountable for actions and behaviors. Yeah. Tigerman says, I'm moving to a place that provides meals, so that might help. I love that for you. And thank you for lurking, William. You actually, a big thank you, actually, like William, Quinmis, a few others. You've been contributing some very thoughtful insights to the conversation that I appreciate very much. Quinmis says, I've struggled to maintain thoughtfulness for others after they've demonstrated a lack of thoughtfulness towards me. Trying to find a balance there's been hard. Yeah, it is. And that goes vice versa. Now that that actually goes vice versa for me too, where I have to be like, even though my brain might be registering some things as a threat and that limits my capacity, that doesn't mean that it's not okay in certain situations. To not, I have my own accountability to do, and that's so I kind of had to come to the understanding that if I want to improve things for myself and others in my life, then the work I need to do is specifically in regards to capacity and tackling. Now that I've recognized, once you recognize the thing, you need to tackle it. You actually have to do the work. And now I've gone through the anger, I've gone through the grief, and now I've got to go through the work. William says, you deserve good things. If it can contribute to that anyway, I'll absolutely try. You contributed so well. Harley says, empathy in general can be hard when you're just trying to get through your own challenges. Yeah, exactly. Tigerman says, well, I find it hard to forgive people that have hurt me. Usually I just stop thinking about them after a while. And yeah, I do not think you have to forgive people. It's fun adding to the conversation. Fun to not always be a little shit. No, you're very, very good insights. Aw, good on you for getting yourself food, Penguin. Konomi says, I've always thought of others before myself, and I'm trying to set boundaries. Isn't easy to stand firm, but can't give more than I have. Yeah, and there's the capacity I had was also negated by my own people-pleasing tendencies, like to do too much in one area or another. So I basically I'm going into the next stage of my life, trying very much to balance like how scary it is with, I don't want how scared I am to negate growth. I don't want, like, I think somebody said earlier in chat, you have to do it scared, and I do. I do very much. I have to do interpersonal work. I have to do accountability work from a place of being very scared. And that sucks. I don't have words. I really don't have words for how much that sucks. And of course, the knee-jerk reaction to that is to be like, well, why should I have to do all of this work? Why should I have to confront things? Why should I have to care? Like, if I did or said something and somebody else felt hurt, why should I have to do the work around that? I'm already just surviving and in such an anxious state, and you literally have to tackle that and be like, no, that's not maturity, that's not growth. Woof. Harley says, it is interesting how churches preach forgiveness, but it is nothing more than an attempt to paper over harms that have been done to the people required to do the forgiving. Crimson says, to give guest tea, you need to fill the pot and steep it until it's ready to be consumed, and also some people need more sugar or cream to mellow it, even if you feel you need to drink it strong. Yeah, I really like that. I really like that analogy. So this is something that is going to be so hard, because I can feel it. I can feel it in my body, like being willing to look at an entire history of trauma that goes back, like from here all the way back, and to, because in order for me to do the work and unravel the entire compounded trauma, because like it goes back, there's some real dark shit in like the early years that I don't think I've really shared with like even people closest in my life. And to go back, to go from like where I'm hurting now and then tackle it, there is a literal physical nervous system response for me. And so now a lot of the work I have to do is basically taking my body out of being on guard mode, hypervigilance, the intense, like, oh God, we're in danger. In order to do that, we have to take that response, help take it down out of the body, and then carefully work through things. And so over this weekend, I had to confront how much more work there is than I thought. Because I was in a place where I was like, I'm working, I'm doing my best. I think I'm doing all right, only to be confronted with like, actually you have a nervous system response. A nervous system response that impacts your friendships, impacts the people around you, and in order to enhance, maintain, cultivate, you're gonna need to tackle this physical response in your body and then grow, mature, heal through the rest of this. That's the thing. I know my body is trying to protect me. The way that all the stuff that pops up, because this is a reality of trauma, is as you approach that stuff, at least for me, there's trouble breathing, there's headache, jaw tension, back pain, gut pain, holy fuck, it sucks. It sucks a lot. So, um, the whole process, right? You've unpacked your luggage, but have you unpacked your nervous system? Woof. You don't want to lose yourself in the progress. I know for me it took so long to actually find myself. Don't want to let go of that now that I have it. Yes, it's scary. It's scary to hit a certain level of healing and realizing you have to let that go in order to go to the next one. Noodles, no spice packet. Oh my god. Yeah, learning to self-advocate is an important part of healing, especially as a survivor. Yeah, you're lurking so good. So yeah, now it's hard. It's hard. Like I'll feel it in my ears too. Like the defensiveness my body has is so very, and that's the hard part about trauma, is that if you're trying to grow, mature, take accountability, and your body fires off like that, it's like the defensiveness is, your body's doing that defensiveness with good intent, but it's also taking you down. It is taking you the fuck out. And so now you're now not only are you like in emotional pain, you're in physical pain, and you're exhausted. So to me, I'm like, if I actually want to unpack and address what I've experienced in healthy ways, and I want to use my voice in healthy ways, then I have to tackle a very intense nervous system response, because it'll shut other people down. Bodies decide to give me pressure, headaches to deal with life. Ugh, those suck. Those suck so much. And yeah, trauma is hard to unlearn. So I've kind of been in a place of like, I do very much have a people-pleasing knee-jerk reaction to, I think, people being upset with me. Because I think on one hand, there are some things that like especially like with my family and whatnot, I have good reason to be angry and to be grieving. But there's that knee-jerk response to want to make it right, to do certain things, have certain like conversations immediately, and it's like, no. No, you have to, the hard lesson I'm learning right now is not to try to control or fix things and make sure they're so good and perfect and everyone's happy immediately. It's going to take time, it's going to take patience, and you need to approach stuff. If you have trauma, you have to approach it when your body's ready and you've taken down those physical responses. Little Miss Deadeye says, hey, hello, here to support. Good friends suggest your streams, so here I am. Waddling up with cookies to support. Please, I love, what kind of cookies? I love cookies. And Ecstatic Asterism says, I had a big PTSD setback the past month and a half or so, feeling all that real hard with the whole body saying nope. Yeah, I started experiencing full panic attacks. Like what kind of clocked me, what clued me in was experiencing a recent, like in this process, like trying to set up a new life and whatnot, there came a point where it was just like so over, like, and the panic set in, and it was like I've regulated anxiety and stuff fairly well throughout my life, but I hit capacity in such a way that my whole body reacted so strongly, and I was like, I need to check in with myself, and I also need to check in as to how this has impacted other people. Cookies, right? Cookies. It's not your responsibility to fix other people's feelings or perspective, just FYI. Yeah, exactly. So what I have to learn as I start tackling with, like, very intentionally tackling my body's defense systems, I have to find the balance between no, this is who I am, this is what I need, this is like basically doing effective advocacy and affirmation for myself versus my trauma responses genuinely negating other people's feelings. I'm not talking about like defaulting back into like people pleasing or fawn responding. It's more like the realization of like and like I checked in with myself and I'm like, how receptive am I to people being upset with me? And it turns out not very. When I actually was honest with myself, it's like, no, not very. If I actually like critically look at that, my body has a full anxiety response. And I'm like, no, I do genuinely need to tackle that. You have homemade freshly baked white chocolate macadamia nut cookies? Oh, that sounds delicious. I would absolutely love some of that. Yes, please. So yeah, thank you guys, like for those of you who have sat with me through this conversation. I appreciate you. I appreciate you very much. And it was like, part of it was also a check-in with my community about my own content, because I wanted self-regulation so bad, and how I did find some, in the experience of talking about certain things, I found some stuff that was constructive and felt good, and then others that didn't, and I know why. So I kind of wanted to be like, if you're looking for some past content, I've basically removed content where I was trying to use my voice, but certain things I did not perceive as constructive, or like I did not find them to be reflective of the values that are core to me and are going to be core to my own healing. And so essentially, yeah, just to thank you to your support, and then also this is where my content has been. This is kind of like the decisions I'm making around my content and why. It's awesome to be constructive, but you don't need to go out of your way to make yourself feel negative. No, it's not even like, I don't feel negative. I don't feel negative about myself. I'm trying to also I try to be very gentle with myself in regards to this process. Because wherever the line of healthy boundary is, it's got to be there somewhere. Little Miss Deadeyes, thank you for the follow and the airplane. Welcome to the House of Chords Twitch community. Quimus says, thank you for opening up in the ways you do, allowing us to sit with you on this. Thank you. I do appreciate it. Appreciate your openness and honesty with us, the trust you show us by talking about your experience. Fireman says, you've given us some things to think about we may not have considered. Yeah, the inner work I've been doing, like I've given an extensive amount of thought to, and I'm bringing up in the context of like intent to be constructive for myself, as well as part of the agency. So this is where I'm at, where I'm like, I get the concern where I would be like too accommodating, like going back to being too understanding or whatnot. But part of my own sense of agency, I think, in healing from trauma is that I don't want to look at my life. I don't want to look at where I felt hurt. I don't want to look at it from a lens of me being like helpless, so to speak, or also like so very good, just like this like this saintly victim who just took it and walked away. there's stuff like throughout, like from now back into childhood, that I think my own feelings of grief and hurt are valid, and I'm going to protect that, stand on that, and advocate for myself. Um, but I realized that trauma was negating my capacity to also see my own part in things, and I was starting to feel robbed. I was starting to realize that, like, if venting becomes an echo chamber, I start to, maybe even in my own head, become like the helpless victim that was so hard done by. And I'm like, no, no, actually, even if it would hurt, even if it would be hard for my ego to hear, I want to be able to be receptive to my own part in things, because that's where agency is. That's where growth and maturity is, and I don't want trauma and grief and too much anger and grief to rob me of agency, and to rob me of future growth, right? Oh, thank you, Penguin. Want to be a champion? Yeah. Just a little tater tot. Just a little tater tot. I love tater tots. I get the feeling you and Deadeyes will get along quite nicely. Not surprised. Oh, I love that you guys are bringing your friends in. Hi, Billy. Welcome back. Welcome back. Oh, so yeah, that was some heavy subject matter. I think we'll switch over to a little bit of Horizon Forbidden West in a moment. I'm going to take a second to get myself more water, switch over the game, reset. We'll have some gaming. We'll shoot some robot dinosaurs as a palate cleanser, for tough discussion matter. So just give me a moment and I will be right back. sorry, I was muted. I totally forgot about that. No sound. Okay. 5 head pats for emotional distress. I'm sorry. I know the transition sound is very loud, and I can't figure out how to make it go down. Like I'm not sure exactly where to do that. Chat pre-game reminded me of the Link in the Parkin song, Somewhere I Belong. Oh. Yeah, sorry, that took a hot second. I went and I made myself more tea, as my own little, like, after, little, nothing, like, one of the few things that hits, like, as good as tea for some emotional aftercare. There's no transition to double click. There should be an option to, like, I'm in stream. If one of you guys knows where in Streamlabs to turn that down, I would appreciate it, because I don't know where it is. But every time it transitions, I know it's pretty loud. Let's see. We're gonna take that off, come back here. Put this back over.
Fuck your life!
Bing bong. Oh, I should turn the game volume up for you guys too. Make sure you can hear it. The Tower of Tears. Where are... Oh, right. We actually have to go down and find Poseidon. Oh, this is going to be great because I think it's an underwater portion.
So far, so good. I can actually breathe down here.
Yeah. Oh, we're going down deep. Yeah, I think we can all agree. Like, simping for Aloy is valid. Oh, wow.
Seems to be holding up. I've never been able to swim this deep before.
That is beautiful. All right, let's go through this way. I don't know if Court is still available to grab that link.
It started right here, more than 30 years ago. Back when this casino was still called the
Oh, thank you, Tiger Man. I don't know. Oh, that link doesn't work anymore.
Turned my fate around. But now,
That's the link I need to
dealt this
replace.
cruelest hand ever to everyone. I have to turn the lights out one final time. And the waters of my adopted home will at last run dry. Well, if a dream has to die,
Must be Poseidon.
at least I can say goodbye first.
Stanley Chen. What did he do here?
Oh, wow. Huh. Oh, this is so pretty. Okay, I think we have to go even deeper.
That looks like a way out. Poseidon's down here, somewhere. Gotta
All right,
find
let's
where it's
go.
hiding.
Just a little bit deeper. I don't know if she would have, like, the bends if she came up too fast from this deep.
Stop, and roll, get it, do it like pro.
There we go. Aw, hey, welcome back.
I can fight that thing underwater.
Oh my god.
I'll have to be careful.
Well, that's cool. They made a whole... Loch Ness monster down here. Deeper, look out for Balrogs.
This place is massive.
Yes, we would not want to run into one of those. That's a big one. That is a big boy. Okay. Hopefully, we don't get tanked by that guy. It's only a Pleurodon, Charlie. A magical Leopleurodon. It's a Tide Ripper. That's what they call it. Okay. Can I... I don't get any kind of a pathway? I think that's an astronaut. Alright, so I think we are currently in Las Vegas. If they made a Mecha Megalodon, oh, I would lose my shit. Not gonna lie. If they made a Meg, I would lose my whole mind. Alright, so we have to get to that spot that that thing is guarding, and if it sees us down here, we're probably fucked. Should move the smoke bombs over. Just in case. Where are my smoke bombs? I could have sworn I had smoke bombs. I have one smoke bomb. Awesome. You're gonna make it count? As we get out of here. Ah, big guy. How we're supposed to get past him, though. Oh, I think we're swimming past a current right now. Yep. Wait, no! Okay. Well, maybe we can get the water out of here? Oh god. I am stuck. Well, that's rough. I guess we have to get out of the slipstream. Is there a way past this? Ah! No, let me through. Do I have to go straight forward? Oh no. That sucks. Where is... Oh, I was hoping for some kind of clear path through. Wait, now I'm being directed this way. I got this. I got this. Yeah, I'm not sure why, but like Alexa has this thing where they keep giving warnings. Like, oh, the heat warning's been extended. Shut up. I expect the heat warning to be on till like November. Like, just stop. We get it. It's hot.
Critical flooding detected. Automatic drainage controls offline. To execute an emergency purge, manual reset of primary and secondary pump nodes is required. The purge can then be triggered at the pump maintenance station.
If I do this purge and drain all the water, I can fight that big machine on dry ground. Looks like I have to reset a couple of pump nodes first.
We got this. We got this.
According to the map, there should be an access point for the first node south of here.
Alright. I think if we can drain this, then we could fight that thing on an equal playing level. I mean, as equal as a human versus a massive death machine can be. Oh, it's not the only robot down here. Oh god.
Step to cover.
Danger. Danger, Will Robinson, danger.
Machine's linked to fire.
Yeah, there he is. Yeah, that's right. Keep going. Keep going there, buddy. Okay, we're gonna use the seaweed for cover. Okay, he's going past. And we're right back to just keep swimming, just keep swimming. What do? We just keep swimming. Oh, never mind. We don't keep swimming. No. Oh, and there's a burrower too? Damn it. Brain can be umbly wumbly. That is such a mood. And part of the reason I made tea. Alright, so the burrower should head off. We get to this next patch over here. Maybe we can get the supplies real quick. Hit quickly, quickly, quickly. Over.
Here's the access point. Should lead me to the pump node.
Okay, we're so close. Oh, you've never seen this game before, Chloe. It is gorgeous. Aesthetically, it's one of my favorite franchises, favorite games I have ever played.
Look at these tunnels down here. Water lines for an entire city.
Okay, here we go. Hopefully this way. Yes.
Can't reach the ledge from here.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe there's something I can climb to get out.
There is an air pocket all the way down here. Like, remember how deep we are down? Like, I am not seeing a way to climb out. Okay, maybe there's something that we need to... Yeah, that's scary. There's like that impulse thought of what if that turned on randomly? I don't like that thought. That is not a friendly thought. Man. Right, secret tunnel. Secret tunnel. Aha, a ladder. Just have to be a little patient and move over. There we go. Just drop that and see what it does.
There. One node down.
For
I'll
science.
swim back up and find the access point for the second node.
And she's gonna blow. There we go. That was my light source. Excellent. What do we have over here?
The primer node shut down now. I think the last time I was down here was during the Lumiogrand incident. A malfunction led to an overflow of detergent in the pipes. Suds rose from every fountain. As we frantically tried to fix it, I looked up and saw everyone in the lobby chasing bubbles the size of basketballs.
Aw.
Young and old alike. Another magical moment in the impossible city.
Recording from Stanley Chen. According to the map, the second node should be on the other side of the door.
Oh boy. Finished the game recently, including the DLC. Hey, I'm glad you enjoyed it, Derigo. I'm not sure if the version I have came with the DLC or not. Might have to pick that up later. Okay, if we're gonna get around this... Ooh, what do we have here? This. Taste of the high life. Data corruption? Only partial. I understand you want me to come back, and I'm missing Jesse too, but this takes the personal touch. Our competitors can shift 100,000 units of vat grown in one call. You know, the only way we're going to take some of that business is by building relationships. I've got 3 more appointments tomorrow and a good feeling about the first 2. If I can land just one of them, it'll be enough to keep the farm going for a few more years. This one chef, he likes to talk about the way you can taste the difference with real meat. He says it's like homeopathy? God, I hope I'm saying that right. The texture and composition might be the same, but you can taste the imprint of life. Whoever he's talking about, it seems to sell, and there's a lot of hollow stars at his restaurants. So just a few more days, okay? They say if you want to take a gamble, you come to Vegas. Maybe tomorrow our number comes up. Yeah, I don't even know what the deal. I love the Banuk DLC from the first game. That was very good. Alright, you. Where are you going? Alright, we move. Wait, this one is this way. When did that happen? No. I was not going the correct direction. Darn it. Swim! Swim! Swim for your life! Oh god. It is right there. Go away. Alright, it's not too far away. The DLC is the Burning Shores add-on. You've got the version already. Oh! Nice! Alright, looking forward to playing that. Where is he going? I'm trying to tell which way he's facing. Is it safe? Keep it secret. Keep it safe. Alright, we're just gonna...
Another access point.
We're just gonna go for it.
To the second node.
Alright, hopefully I timed this correctly. Alright. I don't see the other big one. Oh, we're going. We're swimming. We're getting out of here. We're all good here. Nothing to see. Awesome. There's our other access point. Yeah, exactly. Sneaky swimmy. Oh, I got a quick hydrate. Thank you. An aggressive... That would be the most aggressive boop. And I usually am all about boops. You guys would know this, but... in this case, I'll pass. There's gonna be another spot. Aha! Ladder.
Just shut down the secondary node. No more water for the fountains. No more shows. No one left to appreciate them anyway. I'll never forget the city's grand reopening. The fountains had been bone dry for years. No one believed they'd ever return. So, as the first plume arced up in the dome, the music swelling, my heart soared right along with it. The city gave me a second chance once. Now it had one, too.
I won't budge. Maybe that debris is weighing it down.
Debris. Oh, I'm scared of this. Alright. So it sounds like...
Let's see if that helped.
this guy managed to bring water flow back to Las Vegas back in the day.
Okay, I've taken care of both nodes. Now I just need to activate the emergency purge at the maintenance station.
Okay, step 3. Emergency purge. Sounds like a medical problem.
According to the map, the maintenance stations should be at the south end of the dome.
Which like kind of reminds me. I don't know if your guys' For You page has been full of like, paging Dr. Beat, emergency, emergency, paging Dr. Beat, emergency. How long does it take to do the current makeup? Today took a while, not gonna lie. This was a few hours. There's gonna be something. Come on. And go the other way? Maybe? No, not this way. Oh, come on. You just got that to stop playing through your brain nonstop? This is the police. Paging Dr. B. Emergency, emergency. Paging Dr. B. Emergency. All the time. I've seen so many videos with that audio just today. Holy fuck. Oops. Oh, oops. Oops, 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 oops. 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 I'm leaving. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Smoke bomb. Oh, nice, Court. Glad you can still hang out.
Run, bitch! Run!
It's okay, we only took one slight little knock. Not to worry. Audio stuck in head.
Baby shark baby shark baby shark baby shark.
Okay, I think we're good now.
Sure you can tough out the cold. The last one.
Damn it. That thing is in our way. Oh, okay, nasty. Listen, you cannot get me with a Baby Shark audio. I love the Baby Shark song. It is a personal favorite. Oh, go away. I hear you chittering at me. Fuck off. I love like the on alert Assassin's Creed style of this game.
That tower.
Wait, where am I going?
The console I found earlier.
Where'd it go?
That might be the maintenance station. But how to get in?
Oh, I think it's this thing. How do I get in? And where's the crocodile? Okay.
Fuck your life! Bing bang!
Okay, we gotta find an entrance to this place. Rest of the stream's lucky there's a cooldown on that routine. I just want the whole song.
Baby shark baby shark baby shark baby shark.
So the thing is, like, you need the whole song, though. Oh god. You see nothing. Alright, it looks like this is a door.
System shutdown's almost done.
Path of
Only thing
News,
left is to
hi.
power everything down at the control center. So, I guess this is it. One final walk down the strip, and then it's lights out forever. At least I won't be around to see it destroyed. The Odyssey will be well on its way to Sirius by the time the storm gets here. Still, my last memory of this place will be empty. A city that's already dead.
Stanley chose
Oh.
one of them. But he did so much for this place. He doesn't sound like the others.
How do I get in? I'm still lost. Where's the inn part of this?
Street smarts!
Having fun there, noob. Las Vegas timeline. Oh, it's literally a whole history.
Street smarts!
Wait, in 1931, big dam called the Hoover Dam is made near Las Vegas. 1951, big bombs are blown up in the desert. People come to watch the mushroom clouds. Our city is called Atomic City.
I've come to talk with you again.
All right, let's look at like past our time. Let's see. 2007, a big hotel called the Stardust exploded. 2030, it gets very hot. The animals die, and the people say it's too hot and go away. 2035, Stanley Chen is very lucky, wins $3.2 million on a roulette wheel by guessing the numbers. 2037, people from Nevada and Arizona and California fight against robots when the government tries to make them leave because it's so hot. Almost nobody comes to Las Vegas anymore. 2040, Stanley Chen has used the lucky money and made more from making water than you can drink without getting diseases that make you sick. He pays his money for a big bubble over our city and a hotel called the Fountain. My school, Stanley Chen Elementary, is open for children. Thank you, Mr. Chen, for everything you've paid for our city, where we live, and for stopping it from turning into a desert. I like this guy.
Street smarts!
Apparently he's with some not very good people, but I like his vibe overall. Wait. So I see a red light on up there. Oh, buddy's coming back around. You're out of... You were just like, let's come in and spend all of our points. You do you. As of now, he's nice. Yeah, for now. Can I just swim into it? Like, bonk? No! Let me in. I see a light in there. I see you. Oh god, what am I missing? Took you so long to step through. I forgot about the exchange.
There might be a way in.
What? That is ridiculous. Really? That's what the exchange is? Yikes. Oh, what if I go down?
Let's see where this leads.
Alright. I was going up when I should have been going down. Fair enough.
Keep this green shine for later.
Trust me to take the hardest route possible to any solution.
I think I'm in the maintenance station now. I just gotta find a console to activate the emergency purge.
A hydrate, thank you. Do a quick little hydrate here. Good soup. Fucking love soup. Okay, where are we? Let's go over here. Awesome. All right, another secret tunnel. Use all of them on a single emote every 3 seconds. You're like, let's spend these points. Point ahead over 100 cards in here, and then I stop lurking me and interacting with. Aww. Tunnel. Secret tunnel. Yeah. Here we are.
There. Time to dry this place out.
Oh, there it goes. Well, let's go get this computer program.
That did it! Okay. Now I can deal with that machine guarding the door on the other end of the dome. And once I get past it, I can get to what's waiting on the other side of the door. Poseidon.
Alright, and we'll go down. Let's go. Come on. Down, 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 down. Come on. Let go. Oh, apparently there's still water here. Darn it.
System shutdown's almost done. Only thing left is to power everything down at the control center. So, I guess this is it. One final walk down the strip, and then it's lights out forever.
Oh.
At least I won't be around to see it destroyed. The
Yes.
Odyssey will be well on its way to Sirius by the time the swarm gets here. Still, my last memory of this place will be empty. A city that's already dead.
Oh.
But he did so much for this place. He doesn't sound like the others.
So possible ally? Maybe. Okay. So we've got an Angie crocodile here. Yeah, we built the rebreather during the last stream.
Purge left these machines behind. Could sneak by them. Deal with the big one first.
So this one is weak to fire. What do we got here? Can we build some of these? Hell yeah. Popping in to say hi. Oh, well, welcome back, Angel Wolf. Alright, finally time to actually fight something. Which is like the best part. As soon as he stops being suspicious, we will shoot his ass. So you cute. You're cute. Oh, also just can we get as much as I am happy about like support for my content, just because this platform has guidelines in regards to certain things being promoted, if we could like go back and just delete the content about a certain side quest place, just so I don't get in trouble, because I'm not allowed any kind of like reference to it. Yeah, so if you could just for I wish there weren't certain types of like discrimination and stigma around certain types of labor. I do have to work with the platforms and be respectful of guidelines. Yeah, got him. Be lurking, thank you for lurking. Delete the message, just keep copying it. Court. Oh, Drims, hi. Hello, hello. Court, are you able to go back and remove the comment? Yeah, there you are, you piece of shit. Or Derigo. Derigo, I remember you were saying you were back, so if either one of you would be able to help us out there.
Hit the mark.
It'll be one about a certain place. Go back up and look for like money exchange. I'm confused too. Scroll back a little ways. Yeah, a little bit up about money. Yeah. And yeah, also Quimus, remember you were mentioning, yes, we did pass, we passed 5K on this channel, which is very exciting. This thing doesn't like fire. Let's have a little bit of fire.
Good news, everyone!
Thank you. Thank you very much, you guys. Much appreciated. It's like an ice. It's taking burning damage at least. Where are you going? Oh, please don't try to come up here. I suck.
Hello, motherfucker.
Awesome. Thank you guys. Bestest mods. Bestest mods ever. Oh, that did something. I need to hit that sack there.
Street smarts!
Just gotta take out. Come on, burst. I know you can. Ugh. So close. I was not watching my health closely enough. That is on me. Come on. How many shots is this gonna take? I know you're close. Come on. Oh, you big old lizard. There we go. Somebody save the robots. Rosie has fire. The way that flamethrower does not last long enough at Alien. Try not to deflect the compliment. Good job. You take the compliment. Alright, let's go up here. Go to the dispersal tank. Alright, and we'll run this way. Be rewatching once you get back. Oh, sounds good.
Poseidon is through there. Where did that machine go?
Aloy! It's a miracle!
Oh.
Was this you? Did you lower the waters?
Yeah, but there's a new problem. That thing's in our way.
Oh my gosh, hi Raiders. Welcome in. Hi, this is Tales of Love. Well, welcome in everybody. Hi. A whole spud attack? Wow, hi. Hi everybody. Wow, well welcome to the House of Quartz. I'm Rosie Quartz and we are currently playing some Horizon Forbidden West. Welcome. And well, hi. If we could get a shout out for our new friends in chat. Hello. All the things. We're doing well. We're having a great stream so far today. The makeup is wonderful. Thank you. I was going for like a siren mermaid type of thing today. So for those of you who may not know who I am, I'm Rosie Quartz and I'm a variety content creator / streamer. And on this channel, we do a lot of things like shoot robots and talk about mental health. We're also a very LGBTQ plus affirming community as well. That's a big foundation of this platform. So I hope you enjoy your time here. Of course, you can find my content across a variety of platforms. Oh, thank you for the posture check, Angel Wolf. Thank you, thank you. Oh, so here for it. Well, how did you find us here, Tales of Love? And of course, thank you for dropping your community off with us today. And please do your streamer aftercare. If you have to raid and lurk or raid and run, that's perfectly fine. We're currently trying to track down an errant computer program for the purposes of putting the world back together in this game. And yeah, feel free to settle in, get yourself some tea, all that good stuff. Oh, you want the imposter check? Oh boy. Oh boy, you have to do this to me right when we've got all these new people here? Okay, okay, so go. That would be our imposter. Our imposter check here. So, well, welcome everybody. I hope you have a good time. If you're hanging out, then you can watch us fight robots in a post-apocalyptic kind of recovering wasteland. It's a lot of fun. It's a beautiful game. Yes, yay for hydration. We're about to fight. You guys came right on time. We're about to fight something big.
What?
It's a big boy.
She saved our health.
You do makeup as well. Very variety. And a playthrough of Nancy Drew. Ooh, no kidding. So, like, are you into, like, mystery games? That's true. You could have hit me with the uwu. That also could have been a possibility. Ah. All right, here we go. So this is a Tide Ripper.
Get to that overhang.
What are you weak to? Frost? I don't know if we have a lot of frost. We have some frost. Oh, and an uwu voice. Oh god. All right, I'm so sorry to everybody new. Oh wait, let the fight begin. We're going to hit this thing with some freeze bombs. Kind of makes me feel like I'm playing Pokemon. Gotta catch them all the killer robots. Oh god! He's right there. He is right there on top of us. We got him. Look at that. That's right, you bastard. I'll squeeze you. Okay. If we target specific places over and over, it should be good. Right here. No! Oh, I did hit it. Oh, that's purge water. That's not good. We don't want to be hit by that. Oh god. Oh. That is a Hulk smash that we don't want to be on the other side of. Oh, for something so big, it sure moves fast, and that's not great for us. Oh no. No. I'll squeeze him again. That's right. Get this. Oh wait, he's frozen. Maybe we take some of the more intense arrows. We need to take that thing out. That big spinny disc on its back? Oh, fuck's sake. No. Oh god. Maybe if I could jump on top of one of these. Come on, faster. Faster. Oh, why you move so quick? Oh no. Oh god. Oh, this is rough. How close to dead is it? Okay, pretty good. We're not doing too bad. For something so big, it's hard to get a clear shot. Ow. Ow, 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 ow. Come on, get up. Girl, run. Oh, there was health in there, thank God. Ah! Oops. Well, that did not work out in our favor. Oh, he pounced. Screaming, crying, throwing up. Alright, it's okay. Okay. Staying alive, staying alive. Uh-oh. Ow. Oh, that purge water's a problem. Oh, at least it's getting damaged by its own supply. Oh, I'm in the water. That's not good. I will try not to get my kidneys stolen. I will do my best. It's almost dead, though. On a positive note.
Down it goes!
Aloy!
Okay, we got him.
You did it!
Sweet Pea Submarine, thank you so very much for the follow, and welcome to the House of Quartz streaming community. That's very appreciated. Hold on, I'm just
Fuck your life! Bing bong!
I got all my chats open here. Also, thank you for double lurking on YouTube there, Quinmiss. Much appreciated. And we're going to... Oh, we don't have to talk to them yet. Let's go get the computer program. Because with this game, if you turn on the dialogue, we might be here a hot second.
Poseidon should be somewhere beyond this door. Time to bring it home. I can refill my pouch with these things.
Okay, let's see if he's here. Hello? Poseidon. This freezer gets ice cubes, builds self little igloo of ice cubes, builds a little campfire, makes s'mores while lurking. You're having a very productive lurk.
Okay. Poseidon should be hiding in some kind of processor. I need to find a console to gain access to it. There. I should be able to use that console.
I can't do it. I can't give up on this place. I'm leaving everything on standby. The system's equipped for runs for decades, if not hundreds of years. It's a long shot. But maybe someday, against all odds, someone will find this place again.
Apparently
Marvel
Poseidon
at its
did.
lights and wonders. Discover a fortune and boundless opportunity. Make it their own dream. After all, if the city can give me a second chance, if water can flow in a wasteland, anything's possible.
He was right. I'm here to bring you home, Poseidon. To Gaia.
Aww.
Elizabeth Sobek. Alpha Prime.
Master override activated. Restoring Poseidon's subordinate function to original code.
I got him. There he is.
Okay. bring this back to Gaia.
Hacked again. Data corruption partial. Hidden in the AC code. So someone must have inserted it via a thermostat interface. Pretty funny, actually. You know that holo ad for the Cravemen review over at the Vodka? Well, their loincloths disappeared. Went on for almost an hour before we shut it down. Chuckles aside, we can't let it happen again. I've been over the environmental and holo systems, and they look okay. On your shift, have a look at the water infiltration code. Hate to think what might happen if those systems are compromised. Would be a lot worse than a few naked Neanderthals on top of the strip. Well, that's no good court. Having no sound while having visuals really... Oh yeah, I guess Angel Wolf's doing the But if Angel Wolf can't hear us right now, what's something we should say to Angel Wolf that they'll hear back
the city's power system.
when they watch the stream back later?
Roland and crew must have headed back up top. Probably in those like a carrier bus.
It's so pretty in here. And this must be, I think, like the Fountain Hotel is what this was. Also looks like a bunch of Las Vegas is just underwater.
For a cool breeze.
Alright, we just gotta get ourselves back up. Hold on, that was health. Let's take that. I should just tell Angel Wolf, hey, you're doing good. Miss you in chat. Huh. Oh, that's cool. Just take these very damaged escalators up. That casino hotel you're referencing is Bellagio. They couldn't have gone with that because the hotel itself would have required a shit ton of royalties. Ah, I see. Teleface. Aw. Well, thank you for lurking, Quidmus. And for interacting in chat. You had a lot of good things to say. Nutella well earned. And yeah, it is after 10 for me, so I will probably need to get myself to bed soon. So this is more of a highly theoretical future Vegas. Yes. It is definitely set in the future. Stanley Chen looking back. Las Vegas, May 4th, 2060. 20 years ago this week, Stanley Chen broke ground on one of the most ambitious construction projects in American history, even though many Americans didn't want him there. As he struck his spade into the barren soil, the CEO quipped how resentment against Chinese political influence had turned Vegas into a boiling hotbed of nationalistic sentiment, but how his immense fortune had cooled that down, finally warming Americans to his idea of a new Las Vegas. Who would have believed at the time that he would become one of the most beloved figures of the clawback era? But Stanley Chen has always been one to defy the odds, literally. In 2035, during a meeting with potential investors at the Old Tempo Hotel, Chen watched in horror as his water filtration startup drowned before his very eyes, realizing too late that his once trusted lawyer had sold critical patent info to the competition. The resulting chain reaction of busted deals wiped him out, leaving him with only $88,000 to his name. Devastated, Chen decided to leave his future to fate. He went to the casino floor and placed all 88,000 on a roulette wheel, number 8, and it hit. The resulting 37-1 payout netted him nearly $3.2 million, enough to rejuvenate his dreams of starting a successful business. He threw himself back into his work, eternally thankful for his lucky new lease on life. 5 years later, it wasn't Chen that needed saving, but Vegas itself. The hot zone crisis had strangled tourism. Years of ever-increasing heat had dried out the country completely. Water, in critical demand everywhere, was now too expensive to import. Abandonment seemed to be the only option. The City of Lights was about to go out forever. But Stanley Chen couldn't let that happen. In 5 years of incredible success, he had turned $3.2 million into $200 billion, selling water filtration technology that... Oh, he's a billionaire. Little less about it. Heck yeah, you read that stuff. Right? I wish I had her athleticism.
It started right here, more than 30 years ago. Back when this casino was still called Temple. One big day turned my fate around.
No one must have built this
But now,
the place flooded.
it's dealt its greatest hand ever
Be nice not
to
to have to
everyone.
climb back up.
I have to turn the lights out one final time. And the waters of my adopted home will at last run dry. Well, if a dream has to die, at least I can say goodbye first.
Reporting from Stanley Chen.
Whatever she did, she must have powered up the whole city. How much did all this cost?
All right, we did good. We did real good. Hey, Krogan girl. Oh, you were out to the movies. That's
What's
awesome.
going on out there?
Can I get out of here?
Show my old Gramps always wanted. There's another.
His dream realized, his old Gramps' legacy ensured, our hero beheld the sea of desert lights and wept at his good fortune.
When I saw the embers as a child, I never dreamed they could be like this. Thank you, Aloy. Well, did you find what you were looking for?
I did. And now I have to move on.
Oh. Come back when you can. I got big plans for this place.
That was cool.
I thought you wanted to put on shows with the Embers back in the claim.
Oh, no.
The Angel
This
Wolf's
is
having
the
a whole
show.
conversation with themselves.
Oh, can you imagine? Folks from all over the land coming to take it all in. Plus, some food and a nice place to stay.
Not to mention a variety of entertainment venues.
Don't forget, games of chance. Plenty of shards to be had there for certain.
Ever the opportunist.
A new dream, huh? I hope you make it happen. Goodbye, gentlemen.
Aloy, yeah,
Estelle. It's a story for the ages. All thanks to you.
Also, I love his voice. And it's so familiar to me, but I can't place
Morland and
it.
crew's gonna stay. Maybe I should come back and check on them later. For now, I need to get Poseidon back to Gaia.
Amazing. All right, we did real good with that. Aloy is indeed the bomb. All right, let's get this program back to where it is supposed to be.
I see you, champion.
Oh,
Sit.
I totally missed that Tales of Love. I I've played through some of this before, but not a full playthrough. Oh, they've got a rumor for me.
Choosing the right rations can be just as important to your chance of survival as choosing the right weapons. If you want food that'll save your life out in the wilds, go northwest to Saltbite. The cook there, Pintala, she'll whip up a meal for anyone who needs it, to knock or not.
I'll make sure to pay her a visit if I'm out that way.
What's your favorite thing to play? Tales of Love. Whoop. I gotta go over here. And all the way up. Where is... There we go. Let's do this. Time for chaos. Yeah, an ara.
Welcome back, Aloy. I see you have recovered Poseidon.
Aloy, can you come downstairs? Beta has something you need to hear.
All right.
Okay. I'll be right down.
Aloy, I have managed to unlock additional rooms within the facility.
Got it.
Amazing. Oh, we got a whole bunch of new skill points to spend as well. Oh, it is also one of your faves. Nice. No, the way I wish I had an Aloy cosplay. Alright, what does our fellow clone have to say to us?
Happy birthday, Isaac. Daddy sure does love his.
Oh, that's from the first game.
She found that recording from the data on your focus. She's been watching it a lot. I think it helps calm her.
You know, I used to watch this a lot too. Whenever I wanted to take my mind off things.
Daddy sure does love his little bit.
But there's something you need to tell me?
While you were gone, I came down here to check on her. Then we started talking. Right, Beta? She's been thinking about how to capture
Angel.
Hephaestus, studying the data Gaia gave her. But we started talking about some other stuff. You know, just getting to know each other, right? And then she told me that one of the Zeniths might be different from the others.
Tilda. You saw her at the Hades Proving Lab.
Go on.
So the Zeniths are the ones that left Earth 1,000 years
Zeniths
ago
never
and they're
showed
somehow
their
still
faces.
alive?
My servitor caretaker referred to them as my benefactors and promised I'd meet them someday when I had learned enough. And then, one day, a data channel opened in my training interface. In it, Tilda was waiting for me in a virtual replica of a house on a cliff overlooking the ocean. It was beautiful. She showed me paintings, books, media files. We met there in secret many times. But a few months later, it stopped.
Can you tell us why, Beta?
I found some data about Tilda at the Hades Proving Lab. I think she was a liaison between Far Zenith and Zero Dawn. She knew Elizabeth Sobek, that's for sure.
Maybe that's why she reached out to you?
Alright, so we possibly have an in with the Zeniths.
What else can you tell us about Tilda?
Oh, it is getting late, isn't it?
Like to talk about her paintings. What about herself? Did she ever talk about her life on Earth, how she joined the Zeniths, something like that? She never said much about herself, and she hated it when I asked too many questions. But I think back on Earth, she was an expert programmer, given that she built a data channel the
I
others
think so.
couldn't
Funny
detect.
ego death.
Is there anything else about her that we might be able to
I
use
enjoyed
to
the
our
DLC
advantage?
of the last
She was
one.
the first real person who ever bothered to speak to me. I wasn't really assessing her for strengths and weaknesses.
And also, who do you think maybe we should raid tonight? Like the moon. Someday we shall
You said that
steal
Tilda reached out to
the
you using a
moon.
data channel? It appeared in my training interface as another assignment. When I opened it, there were a series of intermittent glitches. I realized they formed a transpositional cipher. Instructions on how to open up a new virtual space. When I entered it, my training interface disappeared. Instead of the usual holographic teachers and files, I was in a perfect recreation of her home. And you're sure the other Zeniths never knew about it? To them, it looked like I was still in training. Toiling away. Alone.
Okay, so Tilda has a soft spot for the clones.
So this secret virtual space looked like a house with an ocean view? I could see white caps and hear waves crashing on rocks below. And there were gulls crying outside. Inside, Tilda had frames that showed off her favorite paintings, changing at intervals to match the light. There was an armchair she liked. She'd sit there and gaze outside while I looked through her things. We spent hours in that house. I never wanted to leave.
Aw, okay. So, we're gonna take paintings in the files.
You said Tilda showed you paintings and let you access media files? Every time we met, she showed me a new painting. I think she was Dutch. All of her favorite pieces were from their golden age in the 1600s. Portraits, allegories, ships at sea. She had so many. Did it interest you? I liked her media portal. It had so much more than my training interface. Clips, shows, holos. My favorite was this one called Second Time Around, about a family whose kid comes back after disappearing during the Hot Zone crisis. Right, but did this portal have anything about the Zeniths themselves? Anything we could use? No. Any information about them was redacted.
Alright, so at least we know we have like a possible interpersonal
So Tilda set up a
connection.
secret virtual space where she could talk to you, a house on a cliff. Then later, she cut you off. But other than the fact that Tilda knew Elizabeth, you don't know why she did those things?
I don't, okay? I thought of every possible reason that would make her leave, but whatever I did wrong, I don't know what it is.
When I finally met the others, she ignored me. Acted like the data channel never existed. None of this even matters. Tilda's the same as the others. It won't help us defeat them.
Not if she risked a lot of...
Leave it at that then.
She took a big risk like that, then...
What's wrong?
I'm trying, Varl. But she is tough to take. I'm out there in the wilds, risking my life every day, and all she can do is hide in there and tell us how hopeless it all is. I'm sorry, she's had a rough time, but she is really not helping right now.
Oh.
You always seem to be on top of everything, so I sometimes forget about what you've been through. I mean, it wasn't that long ago you were so banged up you couldn't even walk. About that.
That's true.
When I pulled you out of the water back near the proving lab, you were muttering Rost's name. You never talk about him. But he raised you, trained you. You must miss him a lot.
Of course.
Emotional damage.
But I don't have time to think about that now. I need to get back out there.
Okay. I'll keep working with Beta. Gaia says she knows a lot about Zero Dawn. And maybe she just needs some time to adjust, and then she can help us with Hephaestus.
Sure. But I won't hold my breath.
From the last side quest? Oh, you mean the kind of like the bard character? Okay, I think that bring this back, turn that down. Oh, page. All right. Oh, that was a 4-hour stream. Mercy. I didn't realize we've really been going that long. Oh, well, thank you. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. As always, I appreciate your company, whether you're lurking or interacting in chat. It is always so very appreciated. And let's see. Yeah, now I'm feeling it. I still have to mermaid myself. That's gotta be a whole thing. Oh, Willow's online. We haven't raided Willow in a while. Yeah, that could be a good choice. Yes, it was really awesome. Thank you to those who raided and brought in their community. Thank you for hanging out, those from the new communities, as well as to my OGs. Thank you. Very lovely to meet you all. I hope you enjoyed whatever it is that this was. You can see the actual like makeup itself, the look over on TikTok, or I post it to my Instagram story as well. Bing bong. I think actually it's been a while since I've updated the sound alerts. I should probably do that as well. Aloy and Tiny Tina were the same voice actor. That is pretty crazy. That is wild to me. Well, I think that all right, there's our House of Quartz Raiders thing. You can copy paste that into chat when we go for a raid. I think it's just Willow. Yeah. Thank you, Court. Well, as always, you guys, please do good things for yourself that make your brain go brrr. Remember, drink your water, and remember your worth is not your productivity. You're not a constant self-improvement project. It is okay. Go easy on yourself. And I will probably be live again for a little bit on Friday as well. So I'm usually live Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And let us go for a raid so I can go to bed. Mwah. Good night.
Well, hello there, Rosie Quartz. How are ya? God, you're so cute. Hi, House of Quartz folks. Welcome on in. My name is Willow. Full-time streamer, educational streamer, voice actress. No, you haven't heard me in anything yet. How was your stream? It's good to see you. Thank y'all for these follows. Talk a lot about gender and sexuality here, being queer. Talk a lot about voice, since I work all day, every day on my fucking voice. And then also we talk a lot about animals. Hey, Billy Welburn, welcome on in. Hi, Rosie. Hi, Dirigo. Dirigo? I don't know how to pronounce that. Hi, Angel Wolf. How you doing? How was your stream? How was Horizon? It's good to see you. And, if you need to raid and run, you need to go take care of yourself, do your things, please. Please do that first and foremost. Thank you for the follow. I really appreciate it. You know what? Somebody did. Hi, Tails. Welcome on in. Somebody did just shed last night. Thank you for the follow. So let's do that. You feel it, huh? Away he go. Oh, look at you. So pretty. He's so pretty. Bought some big robots? Heck yeah. This is Mr. Falcor. He shed just last night. He shed and he ate him 3 chicks. Hopefully I'll have some quail coming in for him soon. It should be here Friday. Hey, buddy boy. Hey, buddy boy. How you doing? Now let's see. Did you heal those scales up? What have you been rubbing on, young man? What have you been rubbing on? Hi. You look pretty up here. It looks like those hurt scales healed up. But now what have you been rubbing on that's got you a little pink? Let's see. Yep, that's you. That's irritation. Oh, buddy. Is your bang fang back? Have you grown another spur? Doesn't look like it.
Hey, t-shirts. Something about spreading for Moon.
This is my boy. He's about 1.5 years, maybe 2-year-old. Blue-eyed Lucy, or blue-eyed leucistic ball python. Twitch, hi Zoe, welcome on in. Nice to see you. How you doing? I've got 4 snakes. I've got this boy. I've got another ball python who very much looks like your standard ball python. I've got a 2-year-old blood python. And I've got like a 7-month-old rainbow boa. Brazilian rainbow boa. I almost got the Colombian rainbow boa they had at the pet store, which is also very pretty. But so let's take a look at a Colombian rainbow boa versus the Brazilian rainbow boa. So my Brazilian rainbow boa is a baby. So let's show a few things off here. So this is about the size of the Colombian rainbow boa they have at the pet store. You can see it's a pretty decent sized boy. Pretty good. Very pretty. Lots of browns. Lots of dark browns. Lots of like chestnut color. This is about the size of my Brazilian rainbow boa. She's a little bit bigger now.